Welcome, everybody. I think I've got a few of you on here. I'll just wait a few minutes for everybody to load in. Yeah, I got things to say, Nick. You absolutely got that right. I got things to say. Hey, Doodle Squash, thanks for joining us. Just me tonight. My good friend Max, saying good evening. Good to have you here, sir. Let's see how this goes. Enjoying a nice hot beverage here. Just getting ready to press play. Let's see where this goes. All right. Let's get rid of that. Come back here. All right. So most of you here that are watching already know a little bit about me. I've shared already what my focus is. My focus is on in-character roleplay. That's what I care about. Wasn't always that way. I got started in role-playing in 1986. That was my first role-playing game. It was not Dungeons and Dragons. And from that point on, I was hooked. It was something about it, just kind of insidiously sunk its hooks into me. And I've been involved in some way or another since then. But I knew something was wrong. And so like many of you, I started consuming content on YouTube, looking for ways to get that excitement back into the hobby. It's just the way I am. I think if you're watching role-playing game contents on YouTube, you're probably not a tourist. Maybe you are, but I don't think so. I think you, fine gentlemen, I think you're probably more serious about the hobby than your average nerd. And that's the way I am. So when I sink my teeth into something, I really want to go into it. And so I was I started, consuming the standard fare YouTube channel, looking for tips to improve what I was doing in my games. Now I've been running an in-person game weekly for a long time. Doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to make arguments by authority because I'm already saying that I was just like most gamers in this hobby right up until about a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago now. And I happened across somebody that was doing something different. And he wasn't giving us the standard listicle of, okay, here's 7 things you can do. Here's the, number 6 is going to shock you. He wasn't doing that kind of nonsense. He was very blunt. He was brutal in his commentary. And at first I had the reaction that most of his audience had. This, of course, I'm talking about Shauner. He went after what he claimed were bad games. And my visceral reaction was simply to say, what does this guy know? Obviously he's just some angry guy. Show me the goods. I don't really believe you. And then I ruminated on it for a long time. I thought about it. I just couldn't let it go. And I came back again and again to these critique videos that he would do. And again, I saw my own practice, what I was doing in the hobby, laid bare. And so that was a huge help for me because it was able to kind of break that barrier that I didn't realize had formed. Now, he's sadly passed, and so there's not a lot of critique going on. And I'm experimenting with this, but I feel strongly enough about it that I'm going to try to what I did is I found, because I'm always getting actual plays. This is what happens when you post actual plays. YouTube starts thinking that that's the kind of content you want to consume too. And so I get a lot of actual play content coming towards me, and that's fine. I watch them And I watched this one from a very large channel. And this is a channel with 500,000 subscribers. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. There, 500,000 subscribers. They're getting easily 10,000 plus views on their games. And so I watched this game thinking, okay, this is the exact content that most people, when they come onto YouTube, this is what they get. This is what they gravitate towards, right? The bigger channels. I'm nothing against that. I'm not criticizing YouTube. I'm not one of these guys that's going to cry into my beer about YouTube and it's so unfair and I'm of the same opinion of Black Lodge Games on this. I actually think that part of the reason why some of these bigger channels are struggling now is because they're saying the same thing. They've been saying the same thing since they started. They just recycle. And I watched this game. As I'm watching this game, I'm thinking, there should be someone. There's 10,000 people that have watched this game. It's I don't know if they watched the whole thing, probably not, but they watched a portion of this and they are tying this game to the hobby. Now, granted, some of you are going to say, "Oh, but Crispy, come on, like it's just for fun." So why are you criticizing this? Just leave them alone. Well, first of all, I'm in the YouTube scale of things, I'm less than nothing compared to these guys. Okay. So this isn't me punching down. Second of all, you have to take a critical eye on what your practice is if you ever want to get better at it. So whenever I watch anything, I'm always looking at, well, how could I get better at this? So I have selected this. I'm going to show you this. We'll get right into it after my, what is this, 7-minute preamble. And I'm going to be interacting with you, of course, right? So like, I just don't think, while the hobby seems to attract a certain demographic, I think that role-playing and role-playing games should attract a much broader spectrum of participants. And I I'm concerned that perhaps some people are turned off from the hobby because they see games like this and they think that doesn't look fun to me. And they're right. Okay. They're right. And the problem with this is that they often, they being those that produce this content, they say, well, it's all about fun anyway, right? As long as we're having fun. Well, you know what? I'm gonna pretend that the dungeon dudes came to me and said, you know what? We're worried about burnout. We're on episode 104 of our big massive campaign that we're trying to sell to you people, and I'm not feeling it anymore. And so they came to me, as they should, and they came to me and said, Crispy, you know, we understand you have a passionate focus on role play, especially in character play. Help us, Crispy. You're our only hope. What can we do? And I am going to tell you, I think his name's Monty. I'm going to tell you, Monty, and your players. I'm one of the players. I'm just going to tell right now, you probably should just kick them. Okay. But I'm going to tell you and your players what you can do to avoid the sameness that you're going to see here as we watch this together. So fair. I think that's fair. Can you guys in the chat, is that okay? Can we do this? Can we give these guys some constructive criticism that they didn't ask for, nor do they want? I'm going to give it to them anyway, because I feel like this kind of content is missing now. And it's the only content that really made a difference for me. So I'm hopeful that someone out there is going to watch this. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to thread the needle a little bit here so that you're not immediately turned off from my presentation or my delivery, that you'll give what I'm going to say here as feedback. Give it some thought. Okay. All right. So here we go. Yeah, this is the dungeon dudes. Exactly. All right. So And you know what? That's how I feel too, Max. If you put your content out here, just like our games, I expect people to watch our games and be like, "Oh yeah, that sucks." Okay, that's fine. I don't. It doesn't bother me. I can't imagine Monty, or I think his partner's name is, and I don't know that they're romantic partners, his business partner or whatever, channel partner, Kelly. I don't think they're going to be that hurt about this. They're probably not even going to see it. All right, so yeah, we'll do the top 5 squad. That's right. All right, so yes, that's right. I mean, we're going to go through this. They came to me. They said we need help. Let's give them some help, boys. Okay, you're going to hear this, and you'll have to let me know if the volume's coming through.
Thus,
okay?
you have made your way for Saint Selena's Monastery, the main stronghold of the followers of the Falling Fire.
I don't really care about the background. You guys know this. We don't care. We're going to just start where they start playing. Okay. The first 5 minutes is their just background, and okay, so he's the game master. Let's hear how he does this.
Where having noticed that Lucretia did not have the helm of Saint Vitruvio or the reliquary of Saint Vitruvio in her possession at the time that she was at the Chapel of Saint Grecia, you've decided to investigate and see if these relics are being held at Saint Selena's, and if so, where. Therefore, you have magicked up Veo with Pass Without Trace and...
Okay, so I'm going to just assume here that you're recapping, Monty, what they've said. I'm really hoping that you're not directing what the party is doing. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, because I'm not going to watch session 1 through 100, 1 through 103. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't do it. But I'm going to do it. Let's just keep going.
Invisibility. I suppose your objective here is to send Veo in to investigate and see what is possible. Now, Veo, I did send you the map of St. Selena's Monastery.
Okay. Why did you send him the map? Does everyone get the map? Did he discover the map? Why are you just handing this out?
Earlier, noting that there are... so St. Selena's Monastery consists of 2 square cloisters abutting one another.
Why you've given us the picture, Monty? Why are you wasting time? Say we got the picture. Are we playing theater of the mind? I don't think so, because spoiler, you've got all the toys on the table, right? It's a big thing for your game.
And then part of the other buildings consist of the common hall, the abbess's tower, and the chapel.
Are these things labeled in real life? Like, how do you think it's wise to give all of this information up? Or if you already gave him this and it's already labeled, why are we spending any time on this?
And then there is the cloister gardens in the middle of each of the buildings. Now, the followers do have an encampment outside the monastery proper. And so when you're looking at the map of the monastery, and hopefully Kyle can put this up on screen for everyone. Basically, each of those cloisters, what they look like on the inside, there's a colonnade,
okay,
and the rooftop kind of...
Wait. You gave them a map? When did they get the tour? How did you know what it looks like on the inside? This is okay. Here's a tip for building suspense and other things. Don't tell things to the players that their characters haven't seen. They don't know this, do they?
Covers an outer pathway, and then there are rows and rows of small monks' cells that go along the outside. The monks' cells have very small slit-like windows.
Is this important details? Is something that we really have to go into? This is, look, if you're going to give, Monty, if you're going to give an explanation, it might be better to just, I'm not suggesting that everyone should do this, but just from editing standpoint, it might be better to just write down 4 sentences and just have the 4 sentences. Even 4 is kind of, I don't know, guys. What do you think? 3? 3 is probably better. Let's go with 3. Okay. 4, too much. And now we're talking about the windows in the monk cells. Is that going to come up ever again?
that are usually either long or tall, that just allow a little bit of light in. And you can imagine from the outside, like these cells are probably very small. And I don't know if any of your characters have been in any of the monasteries before.
Then why are you saying this? They're not even seeing this. Where are the players?
But like they're often quite quite sparse in both their furnishings and their decor.
Okay, here I'm not going to stop at this often, as I promise. But all of you watching now, if I said they're small monk cubicles, sparse monk cubicles, do I need to say anything more than that? If I say it's a monastery, can you already picture a monastery? You probably can pick up just picture a monastery. Maybe I even do this. Maybe I say a monastery perched on the side of a mountain. Do I have to say anything else? You've seen Batman. Do I have to say anything more than that? I just feel like, Monty, you need to dial back the descriptions here. Okay. It's wonderful if you were writing a book. It's not a book. I guess he is writing a book because he's going to sell it to you guys, but still, it's not good game.
Decorations for the typically the clergy of the Sacred Flame, at least in Westermar, tend to live a pretty modest life. There is also the chapel of St.
Have they been in the chapel? If they've been in the chapel before, why do you need to describe it again? You don't. If they haven't been in the chapel before, why are you telling them about it? They haven't been there yet. My understanding, having watched this whole thing through twice, is that they're here to try to steal something. Have they cased the joint? Why don't we see them role-playing that?
St. Selena. It's smaller than the chapel of St. Gresha, but it is attached to the one of the cloisters as well. It has stained.
All right, so I can't remember the name of the girl. I don't know what to call her. The guy in the middle is Kelly. The guy with the helmet on is an extra. I'm pretty sure they just grabbed him off the street and said, hey, can you, but you know what, to be fair to you, sir, I don't know you. I know more the guy in the middle, because as you'll see, you've got a problem here, Monty, with this player. He monopolizes the game time.
Glass windows all around.
Other than you, of course.
Mostly intact. It looks like maybe the followers of the Falling Fire have tried to do some repairs to it.
Okay. How can you paint that picture without so many words? Could you just not say that there's a scaffolding up, or that they've got there's some bricks off to the side and a few tools, a wheelbarrow? Can you just leave it at this? Can you just leave it? Like we're 8 minutes in, man. Your players should have been able to say something.
And then towering over the rest of the monastery is the abbess's tower, which is a square tower that looks down upon the rest of the facility. And then there's a large common hall as well, where ostensibly where the clergy would take their meals or do other work and whatnot. It's possible that within the cloisters there are some other rooms that serve some other purposes, such as storerooms, kitchens, script.
Okay, why are you giving this, Monty? You don't give this to the players. Why are you giving this? You had a picture. You probably paid an artist for that. It wasn't a bad picture as far as maps go. Didn't hate it. You just gave it to the players. Why are we still
auditoriums and the like? So from the outside, you'd need to investigate. There's a couple different entrances as well.
Okay, so you've just confirmed for me that from the outside, so they're at the outside and they haven't been in. Why are you telling them about where they eat their lunch? Monty, you can speed up this game and lose nothing in the process. Nothing.
Well, that lead into the cloisters.
And would this be
and the first turn? What is the first turn? Monty, you have to stop players from doing this. The first turn is what? Can I hear it from the chat? What is the first turn, do you think? What do you think? What do you think the first turn's going to be? It's going to be an out of character question.
Where Lucretia Mathias stays when she's not doing the pilgrimage?
Is this where she hangs her hat when she's not out doing whatever she is? Who are you asking that to, player? Who did you just ask that to? Monty's not supposed to be there, right? He's not physically. Are you standing next to him? Is he an NPC in the scene? How? And if you don't know that, why are you assuming that your character knows that?
That is a reasonable assumption. If there's judging by the
correct answer there, Monty, is nothing.
The rest of
the correct answer is you don't answer that.
Monastery. Give me an
Okay, so now he's going to ask for an investigation check. Okay, why didn't you just do that? You just look at the player, you give them the 1,000-yard stare when they ask you a question like that, until the point where they feel embarrassed. No, I'm just kidding. My players know I just don't answer those questions. If you want to find that out, you're going to have to go and talk to someone in the world. So you pull over the guy that's doing the repairs on the wall. You say, "Hey, Lucretia in? Whatever. Where is Lucretia? We have a message for Lucretia. Maybe I got mail for her. Is she here? Is she does she spend any time here? I'm just not sure. We got this delivery, or she's being summoned, or she's got jury duty, or whatever. But I'm talking to someone in the world. I'm not talking to you, Monty. I'm talking to an avatar that you'll use in the world." All right, let's see how the investigation check goes.
22.
Okay, so looking at the monastery, if Lucretia Mathias is staying anywhere here, it is likely that her personal quarters might be in the abbess's tower.
Okay.
Because
okay. Is this really, Monty? Is this really how you want to handle investigation checks? You just roll the dice, and without the player saying anything on how they're investigating this, how did she investigate that? She just rolled the D20 and then gave you the results, and then you're just going to info dump on her? No, Monty, no. No, don't do this, okay? There's a better way of doing this. It's called role play. So what happens is the player says, "You know what? I'm going to go do some investigating." She says that in character to the other players, to their characters. And then she goes and she rolls her dice. There we go. And then she comes back and you say, "Yeah, that's a success," or whatever. And then if you're describing the successes, great, go ahead, launch into it. She didn't do any of that. You just said, roll the investigate check. And then she rolls the dice. She hasn't moved. I still don't even know where she is. Does anyone know where she is? Does she know where she's in? I don't think she knows where she is, Monty. I don't think she knows.
That's traditionally where whoever was the leader of the monastery would have their residence. It's also possible that the chapel also has a series of crypts beneath it.
Okay. Did you put that in because you want them to go to the crypts? Because she wasn't investigating that. She wasn't, was she? She was just investigating what? Whether or not Lucretia has a different pad. Does she leave? Is this where she hangs her hat? That's what she was investigating. Not, oh, and by the way, there's secret crypts underneath the. I don't know, Monty. I don't think that's. I think there's a better way.
And so, if you're looking through both the chapel and the...
Okay, if you're a game master and you're starting sentences with "if," something has gone badly wrong. You don't entertain hypotheticals. You don't answer hypotheticals. And you don't say, "If you do this, then," okay? You don't do that. You're taking away an important component of the game. You may not realize this. I'm sure you're not thinking that you're doing this. You're thinking, "This is great. Watch, 10,000 people are going to watch me do this, and they're going to take notes, and they're going to imitate what I'm doing." Heaven forbid.
Abbess's towers, the tower, are probably the most secure locations.
Mhm.
In terms of normal,
You're running this as they're going to steal something, okay? Why are you giving away all of this good information? You sit on that. She made one dice roll as a floating head.
defenses, it certainly seems like the followers of the Falling Fire rely on the fact that they are in the deep haze to
Mhm.
keep this place safe from other factions. But what they're doing to prevent attacks from one of the things that occurs to you from scanning around.
Oh, okay. You're gonna get yourself into trouble, Monty, if you spend too much time in the second person. It occurs to you. It is who's role playing what here? She's role playing that character. Why doesn't she have the opportunity to have something occur to her? But from her perspective, do you understand what I'm saying? She doesn't have to be led around, notwithstanding she probably has a septum piercing. She doesn't have to be led around by the nose, okay?
Is there's a lot of monsters in this area, and the hooded lanterns have the advantage of high walls and fortifications to protect themselves from dangerous monsters. There is nothing like that here. So what the followers of the Falling Fire are relying on to protect themselves from the
Are they part of the group? Are they in the in crowd? They're in the followers of the Falling Fire. Are they part of that? I don't think they are, because they're going to end up killing a few of these people. I don't think they're part of the in crowd. Why are you giving away what this organization is doing?
monsters of the haze.
I don't think he's mentioned the time of day. No. And we'll see. We'll see if it comes up.
Is like, how does this even make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what do you think the second turn is going to be?
So not many guards. Not many.
There are guards
Oh,
posted.
Monty.
There are sanctified guards posted at every gate.
Have they investigated that? Was that all part of that magical investigate roll? Why is it that one roll can give all of this information away?
Some of them have makeshift weapons. Some of them appear to be former paladins or flamekeepers. So
how would you know that? Why would you give that away? Again, I think you're showing too much of your hand, Monty. Okay. Now they're guards and you're giving the guards backstory. Oh, they were former paladins. What is a former paladin? How do they know they're a former paladin? Especially, how does she, a thief, know that they're former paladins? What does she know about this? Or flame keepers, or whatever prestige class you've created.
Each of the entrances and the main gates do have guards posted at each point. So it's not like there's not a lot of people. There's probably hundreds of people here.
Okay. Why are you saying there's probably hundreds of people here? Let them. You gave them a map, dude. You gave them a map, my dude. Why are we still?
When we think about where I should go first, do you think it should be somewhere like? I don't think they're going to hide something in plain sight.
I would imagine that the best bet is to search either the chapel or the tower. I've set up telepathic communication.
Oh, this drives me crazy, Monty. They're going to use this. Now, this is high level play, granted. Okay. High level, not in terms of skillful role playing. No, high level in terms of the level of the characters and the powers that they have access to. I understand that. I despise this sentence that Kelly says here. Okay. Because for the rest of the game, because of this little plot device thing that he's done, these three are going to pretend that they're right next to each other, no matter how much distance is separating them. And they'll strategize as if they're right next to each other, no matter how much distance and what they're doing and what they're supposed to be concentrating on.
Yes, so you guys can all communicate telepathically.
So they can all communicate telepathically. Well, isn't that just ducky? Monty, if you want to help your players become better role players, take away that. Okay. Force them to be in their character's skin. Force them. Invite them to be. I'm supposed to be teaching you here. We're going to invite the characters or the players, excuse me, to be in the skin of their characters. Again, they're going to tear off their own skin. They're going to replace it with the character's skin. If you allow something like this, where they can just automatically, okay, whenever I'm talking, I'm just telepathic now. Okay, that doesn't change the fact that you're there. You're still standing somewhere physical in the fictional world. So you're just there standing, all three of you silent.
I also think I would like to send Crowley, not to be directly with you, but maybe like perch on some trees or on rooftops to keep eyes on you. Because if you have eyes above you.
What eyes? I'm invisible.
Okay, true. I won't be able to see you. But at the very least, if you cause a commotion and I see people heading towards a building or something, I can then telepathically let you know, hey, there's guards moving.
They're
here,
planning. That's fine.
or
Whatever.
just, you know.
We'll try to keep like a base of vision around the area.
How far away does the telepathy work?
The telepathy.
As long as you're on the same plane.
Okay, Monty, they're supposed to be. I'm assuming here that they're speaking in character. Don't interrupt them when they're speaking in character. They're planning in character. Here's another tip. Okay, don't look up anything in the book. You can look it up afterwards and then say, hey, mea culpa. I made a mistake. Maybe we'll do something different next time. Stop looking things up.
Kind of exists, pretty much.
So Crowley will just be an alarm system to keep you in notice if any movement or anything suspicious is happening. That way you're at least alerted to it. And we can have open communication through telepathy. Meanwhile, Pluto and I will be in two places at once, I guess. I won't be able to see through my own eyes, but Pluto can wake me up if there's disturbance out here on the road.
And we're going to hide pretty far.
Okay. You think, Monty, if they're saying this, then you're going to have to be listening, because that's now become the expectation, right? He's asleep or he's completely unaware of his physical surroundings. There's something there. I mean, there's going to be consequences for that, right?
Far away, like we're not going to.
We're in an old ruined building.
Yeah, just hunkered down.
Okay. So who gets to decide that they're there? Kelly, did you just decide that? This is the first I'm hearing where your characters are. Okay, you're hunkered down in a ruined building. How in the world, Monty, if you knew that's where they were, how were you giving them the complete layout of this monastery or this monastic compound that they're going to be raiding? I mean, you gave the map, right? That's all they have. They don't get the backstory. Because she rolled a dice while she's hunkering down in a ruined building. What did she investigate? How did she do that? I know she rolled the dice, and that was it. No role play, but rolled the dice.
From Veo's early assessment, we could lure some monsters to attack the front gate if we needed to cause a distraction.
If you want us to cause a distraction, you can let us know.
I'll let you know.
But I think the tower might be a good place to start, because I feel like it's exposed. It might be easy for you to access because you climb.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, okay, less an entrance, more of a scale wall.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to point out something to you, Sebastian. So in order to see through Crowley's eyes, it's 100 feet.
Right.
This is 120 feet.
Right.
This is a very large facility. So even even the monastery gardens, there's campments. Like,
they're in a ruined building, man. Why are you ruining you? The fact that their see-through eyes thing has a range thing, you have to trust. These guys have been playing this game for what, 104 sessions? This is 104 sessions. He should know that. He should know what the limitations are, and he can role play those limitations. For you to give them like, hey, well, guess what? I've spotted okay, Monty, don't do this. You don't have to say to the players, I've spotted a weakness in your plan. In fact, you shouldn't say that to the players. You should play through what happens. What happens when he's too far away? Oh, can't see. Oh, must be out of range.
You would need to be well up to the wall to be able
Okay.
to see through
So,
Crowley's
so we
sight.
might not be able to do the extra alarm
Maybe
system.
maybe Crowley can just perch on a wall above us. And
True.
Okay, this guy is supposed to be playing kind of the dumb fighter, right? Play your character, man.
watch.
Yeah.
We can just at least see,
Yeah.
like we have like a cheap.
Crowley will just be up in the air flying to see if he can see
It's
us.
got to be a familiar.
Here's what I'll
is what
say,
I
just
think that
for
is.
for
It's a
frame
familiar.
of reference. You probably
Okay, if probably, Monty, stop saying those. Okay, you're entertaining hypotheticals. You're giving them what could. Don't do that.
in order to keep out of sight, given the number of people that are around here, for
safely.
safely,
Let the plan fail. It's
you're
okay.
probably anywhere from 300 to 500 feet away from the edge of the cloister itself.
I might
So
as well.
Crowley is just we're just petting him.
Yeah, I'm just hanging with Crowley.
Yeah.
At this point, I might. Yeah, if that's the case, then I might as well just be my own eyes with you.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit in a room.
You know what? That's probably what would have happened anyways. But you could have just let him play it out, right?
Building.
And we're gonna just keep our eyes on the situation out in front of the abbey.
Okay.
Well, and just
Yeah,
few things to
that's
remember
right,
about Veo. She
K-Dolo,
has
that's
alert
right.
and she's invisible in shadows too.
Yeah,
So-
and we are telepathically connected, so just let us know if you need help.
Oh, and I'm playing a simple game of cards with my 8.
My biggest
Thanks.
You can all roll me a d6.
So the first official term from the guy that was chiming in on all their planning. That's fine. I mean, if he's in character, chime in. But now he's playing cards with his monkey. Like he has a pet too, because K Dolo's right. These people have to have some kind of party pet so that they can have some kind of control over it. Because Monty, you're way too involved in what the party is doing. Way too involved. Good comments. All right. Keep them coming.
What are we playing? 5.
2.
Pick up the cards.
2. Okay.
I'm gonna leave this open for you.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Good luck, Veo.
Like no.
And remember, if you need help, it's probably going to take us a solid minute or 5 to get to you.
Sebastian, give me a perception check.
Oh.
Unless we
Wait, he
tell-
didn't say he was looking around, Monty.
Oh yeah. Well, you're in the deep base.
Perception?
Yeah.
16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sebastian, as you watch the monastery, one of the things that you do notice.
He wasn't watching the monastery. He was talking to the other character. Sebastian's not casing the monastery right now. Why did you call a perception check here? You didn't give them enough exposition to start things? Is this, Monty, it's important not to turn something as open world, as a role-playing game, into a choose your own adventure where you've scripted all of the paths that they could take. Don't script the paths they could take.
Is that there are a few contaminated creatures that are in the region.
That's in the region. What are you doing here? I thought you were giving more information about the monastery. Why are we on the region now?
And one of the things that you have cited is a few of those contaminated vultures that people tend to call scratches. And as you watch the monastery, you actually notice how these contaminated creatures, like, there's a lot of places that a bird would love to perch along the monastery, but there aren't anything coming anywhere near.
All communication right now is telepathic, just for the sake of stealth. But
I have to say, guys, I appreciate that you're at least trying to make some effort to disguise the out of character play as in character with your telepathy thingy, but I think it's a cheap shtick. even in high level play. I think it's weak sauce, man. I think you could do better.
Guys, I think that there's some sort of magic field around the monastery that we should be aware of. I don't know what sort of magic field. It might just be protective. But it,
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Now, if Monty, if you could just leave it at that, then we got no issues, right? Just leave it at that. Player has got a hint that something else is going on. Not quite sure what it is. Fine. But I've watched this before, Monty. I know what you do next.
imagine with all the I'm gonna make an educated assumption here, and you can help
Sure.
me on whether
No, he can't help you. He can't help you on where is he? Is he in the ruined building with you? Kelly, no. Don't ask him to.
that makes sense or not. With all the people moving in and out, which includes people who both have delirium in their chest and don't, I would imagine that a protective field would not be able to differentiate Veo from a pilgrim.
Give me an Arcana check.
He has to test this out. Okay? Why? You're giving him an out. You're giving him an out, Monty.
20.
Okay. From your interactions with the Falling Fire and your experience in Lumen, one of the things that is often done to secure holy sites of the Sacred Flame are two powerful spells: Forbiddance and Halo.
How would he know that? How would he know that, Monty? I feel like there was an opportunity here where the party could go in and, oh, there's a complication suddenly and they're going to have to roll with it. And you know what? Role play maybe? Instead, you're going to give the whole security layout. How many of these temples, these monasteries or whatever, have these guys laid waste to? How many of them? Lots of them? If it's been lots of them, Monty, you don't have to be giving them this information. If this is the first one, then why would he know this? Oh, they layer their defenses. He only what did you have him roll? You had him roll a perception check. He rolled a 16, and you said that, oh, well, you noticed that some of the contaminated creatures are avoiding this area. There's probably, and then he deduced from that in episode 104 that there's probably some other magical protection. And that's where his deduction ended. And now you're like, okay, well, you'll see. You'll see.
These spells were the spells that were in effect in the when you were back in Lumen.
Yeah.
And from your recollections, these spells can
It was the same players, wasn't it? I expect players, Monty, you should expect players to be making notes. Okay? They should make notes. They should remember. If they don't remember, they don't remember. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. I mean, you do these every week, right? It's only a week between games.
prevent aberrations, celestials, elemental, fae, fiends, and undead from entering these grounds, or even deal damage to them by entering.
I'm not going to be able to go in there.
What you
Painful.
do recall, however, from your interactions with the followers of like the Sacred Flame, is that the anchor point. One of the things about these spells is that they can normally be dispelled with dispel magic. And so one of the safeguards that
Okay, why are we into this mode, Monty? Okay, this is high level play in this, again, lots of levels in the characters on the character sheet, right? They understand dispel magic, I'm assuming, all of this. Why are we going into this? You had a cool device. Yes, brilliant gentleman in chat. I am aware of what his device is because I watched this before, and I thought it was kind of an interesting spin on these. But you watch this. He's going to give the whole excuse me, he's going to give the whole thing away. He gives the whole thing away. He has this kind of neat thing
that the members of the Sacred Flame do to prevent this from being done is they anchor the spell on the braziers in their chapels. So if the flame is not lit,
Okay, well, it seems to me, if the world is believable that you're selling to people, Monty, in this setting that you've created, that if their neat trick is we're going to anchor a spell on a brazier of fire that provides light, so that we will instantly know that the spell has been triggered or defeated or disarmed because the light goes out. Don't you think if they're smart enough to do that, they'd be smart enough to control that information? That shouldn't be widely known. He made an Arcana check. Does Arcana just give him all the information about all the secrets and all of the rituals that their enemies are using? Is that what Arcana does? In which case, why do you have an investigate skill? Spells on bras. No, that's a brazier. Okay, this is a little different. Brazier, little different. But thanks for playing, Rune. We like that you're here. Yeah, exactly. And I think, Monty, I think that's what you're doing. You're planning how this goes. It feels too scripted because you'll see. I'll try to point it out to you, Monty, so that you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. It's just so much expo dump here. Okay. This reveal here, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, look at this. Oh, and she's got something she can do. That could have happened when they discovered this, if they discovered it. Otherwise, it's a cool spin. Like, why not let that be? It was kind of an interesting way for them to try to keep high-level thieves from case in the joint, I guess.
these defensive wards would go down.
Also, okay, is
Kelly,
spell magic a ritual?
No.
Okay.
No.
How do you not know that,
okay.
Kelly?
Continuing to talk to you in your mind. If you want to, I'm not going to be able to go in there unless you dismantle the braziers, and also dismantling the brazier. If I would use it as a last resort, but it's going to cause some issues for all of the people there, which honestly, if we get the helm if we find the helm in phylactery, it might actually be in our best interest to dismantle the braziers as well. Because if we do that, taking down their stronghold and exposing it to the deep haze and the monsters in the area, we're here to dismantle the falling fire, and we shouldn't lose sight of that.
Okay. Monty, that turn for Kelly was a little long. I'll allow it. Okay, I'm going to allow it. It was a little long, but it was in character. He even went so far as to say, like, I'm using my telepathy now, right? So this is in character. Why not just let the players play? You do not have to take a turn after every player. You really don't. Let them cook, okay? My fighter dude, we're 20 minutes into your game session. The entire involvement of him in the session so far is I'm playing cards with my ape. Okay. That's it. Let him play.
One of the things that you do know about both the Halo and the Forbiddance spell is that Forbiddance in particular is the one that like kills creatures that try to enter the area. Isn't
that divine magic? Is he a divine caster? Why are you giving him this information? Has he seen it in action?
If it's likely that Lucretia Matthias has put it in place permanently because she's been here for over a year. So
wait, Monty. They weren't even sure if this is where she stays. Remember? That was the first roll of your game session, was an investigate check to know if this is where she crashes when she's not out campaigning. Now you're telling them that she's been here for over a year. Oh, and she probably cast permanence on it. How in the world would they know that? Why are you giving this away, Monty? You don't have to give you've got something cool in mind. You've done this whole thing. I am actually very curious as to how the card game with the ape was going. I have to say that is so far the most, and it's not because Monty, I don't like your idea of doing the brazier thing. Yeah, it sounds interesting, but you just gave it away.
But making the forbidden spell permanent takes 1 year of work and thousands of gold worth of material components. So
Can that one be dismantled as well by?
Don't answer that.
removing the
yes,
braziers?
yes, and then it would take it takes 30 days to make forbiddance permanent. You have to do it every day for 30 days in the same location, and it's a ritual. So like it has to be done every
Dude, you don't have to do this
every day for 30 days. So in order for them to like put those wards, like Lucretia
they weren't
Mathias,
there
if
for
she
that.
was the one that put the wards up, which
Lucretia
she probably is, because she's
Mathias,
feeling
whatever.
powerful
Why you have
enough
to say
do
both
it.
names the whole time?
It would
I don't
mean that in
understand.
order to protect their stronghold, Lucretia Mathias would now be occupied for at least a month, trying to just protect their
You're giving hypotheticals again, Monty. Okay, remember what I said. All right. So if you take away from this advice session that is non-consensual, that you did not ask for, and you will likely not watch, do not give them hypothetical. There's no reason to assume that they know where your big bad, whatever this angel big bad thing is, that she's been here for a full year. And she's been casting permanence every day, or forbidden, or whatever. She's been doing the permanent thing.
she could put the ward back up temporarily, but then like
she could do this. If you did this, then she could do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Let them find out. Play to find out. Play to find out. Well, what do you think she's going to do? Why are you asking me that? I'm not her. That's how you can handle that, Monty. So if Kelly says, hey, well, what about, do I know if it's permanent? Dude, what kind of stupid question is that? Play the game. I'm not answering your question. First of all, it's not in character, and we're not sharing your telepathy spell. So I'm not answering.
Basically what I'm saying that
you might have to rip off the Band-Aid.
It's possible the followers of the Falling Fire could survive the ward going down for a day.
Yeah.
But then in the after,
it's possible that they might survive if for a day. Come on, man. These are all hypotheticals. Don't go there.
Aftermath of that, it would require Lucretia Mathias's entire efforts to
do we really have to say Lucretia Mathias every time?
Install the ward? It would take her a month to get basically
annoying.
I think Veo, whether or not you find what we're looking for, in the worst case, if we are at a loss of where to look and things are getting dicey, dismantle the braziers, and what that actually creates is an opportunity for in the panic and confusion, we have a chance to all three of us go in and kind of scour the area while everybody in there is dealing with monsters.
Confusion and darkness.
Yes.
They hate it.
The question is, yes, do we do that first? Is that the goal?
Up to, I would say.
Okay, so Kelly, to Monty, this is something you could reinforce with your players. Fighter dude looks like he's just checked right out. Okay, I don't know. Someone's got to be the weakest link. Okay, but Kelly, at least if at the beginning of this session, he is trying to like indicate, yeah, I'm using telepathy or my telepathic link. But they don't keep up with that at all.
Okay, that's up to you. If you want to take a scouting look first to see if you can find them, because obviously once the panic starts, things are going to be a little more messy. I would, and you can argue with me on this, but I would say that if you were to somehow find the 2 items we need before causing the panic, that's a cleaner escape for us. But if you are having trouble,
Just put the braziers in.
just put the braziers in.
Monty,
But
what are we going to
And can I
also-
do that without magic?
I think could she just like knock them over?
It's
Or, like,
possible, yes, that
dismantle
she
them?
can destroy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Could she just knock them over? What? Monty, that is not a valid question. It's not in character. He's asking about what another player could do with her turn. Doesn't she get to decide that? I mean, we're just talking about braziers, right? Braziers got fire in them, give light. Everyone's seen a brazier. Like, we don't have to have like a 10-minute exposition about braziers, do we? And Kelly, don't play another player's character, okay? It's her character. I agree her character seems kind of lame, but it's her character. Hands off. If she's going to try something, let her try it.
But also, to be my own devil's advocate here,
You're talking too much,
the
Kelly.
more time that we waste not
I can
performing
relate.
that task
I know.
could be detrimental to us. So I would love to hear your thoughts.
I think
Okay, well, Kelly, we need to shorten your turns a little bit, but at least you're trying to get her talking. Dude with the helmet, time for you to check in to the game, okay? Check in. All of us are interested about your card game with the ape. Check in. Why isn't there a round robin happening here? Here's a tip for you, Monty. Even though you're waiting to roll initiative, you can still have an order of play. Right? You can have it. Yes, Phil, me too. You have an order of play so that you don't have a situation like this where our helmet dude is checked out. He's alt-tabbed right now, right? Now there's only 4 of you, so he's still listening, but he's not really playing the game right now. Kelly's playing the game, such as it is. So is Cat Ears Woman. But Kelly's monopolizing too much of this. I can be that player, right? So I know, and I can relate to you, Kelly. I know you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm excited. I'm into it. I want to talk a lot. You got to pull back, man. You got to pull back. You got to let other people have the limelight. And what you'll find, because I found this, as I did that, I got more out of the game. I developed a better relationship with my characters, with the other characters, because they had time to develop. If you monopolize too much of the playtime, your character is getting all of the scrutiny, and they're never having that chance to flesh out, to role play, so that you can find the link, so you can have interesting developments in the relationships between the characters. It's important that you pull back. I mean, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I think that's good. There's some good things we can work on here, but Kelly, you gotta let Helmet with the ape and the cards. He's got to get in. And dude, you Helmet. I can't remember your name. I apologize. I should know your name, but I don't. You got to get into the game. You got to be proactive, man. You got to get in there. Okay, get after it.
Okay, seeming. Would it be better if we cause the ruckus for you to get in here with seeming and be able to search
I could,
After the braziers go down.
after the braziers go down?
I won't be able to walk in there until the braziers are down. So maybe
So
this
get
is
the braziers
Operation
down.
Dismantle the spells, because then those scratches are going to attack.
Yep.
Do they look like they wish that they could get in there? Do the scratches, are they like
It-
circling around the...
Okay. You're asking the GM to give you what? Monty, what is he really asking you here? He's asking you for the motivation of some corrupted monster. The proper answer to a question like that is derision and laughter.
It's possible that any of the monsters that are in this area know now that the wards are here, and they wouldn't necessarily
Okay.
know that.
Okay, I'm going to
just
help you out.
Don't go there. Bad.
I'm going to help
Like they
you
don't
out.
have enough understanding of.
I'm your guy. I'm going to help you out. if you wanted to show that, Monty, the way that I would suggest you do that is you take a brief description. Brief. Okay, we're going to have to work on the length of these descriptions. You're going to get a brief description of these scratches flailing against an invisible barrier, bouncing off it, getting incinerated in seemingly in midair. Take the seemingly out. That was a misspeak. They get vaporized. A flock of them screeching come through, or they're right at that. They're hovering around in their awkward flight, and a few of them are too close, and their wicked talons get singed. Just say that. Not. It looks like the scratches or their motivation, such as it is no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so I'm here to help you out, man. This is advice you did not want. I'm giving it to you anyway. It's that one. That's just a bonus. We can call that a bonus. Let's keep going.
What's going on? So they might need to be incited to attack.
Okay.
Your guy's job.
So I have an idea based on that. What if
Finally,
we're gonna get
Pluto Jackson monster bait runs through the city,
but what?
Yeah.
banging pots and pans, get a
Okay, Helmet. I'm really stoked that you're having a turn. I think it's fantastic. Here's a suggestion for you, sir. You're talking as your character, unless you're doing this thing where the character refers to himself in third person, which it's going to be kind of cringe, but whatever. If you want to do it, whatever. Try to move your discourse as, hey, I'm speaking as Pluto. It's going to help. I'm telling you, it'll help. It'll feel awkward maybe at first. You're going to notice a big improvement if you can do that. Okay, just something to consider. First person, try it. It's way easier.
big old group of monsters chasing them, and we time it so that when you break down the braziers, I show up at the front door with just like a big old mess of stuff. No seeming required. I walk right in because there's
No, this is gonna work. I'll be with Pluto, helping him rile
This
up.
is Project Mayhem 2.0.
Yeah.
this is Lumen all over again. We've learned a lot from Lumen.
Pluto and I are going. Okay, we're bringing the party to you.
Okay, Kelly. Your buddy Pluto, he just had his turn. It was his first turn of length. Don't restate his turn, please. We all heard it. We get this. We get it, right? Everyone's laughing about something that happened previous in episode whatever 67 or whatever one it was, where you did something similar. Okay, and just let him go with it. You're kind of hogging the spotlight here a little bit.
Your job is to dismantle these spells, and we are going to take down this stronghold with a horde of monsters.
Right on.
We're
Let's
going
do
to
it.
find as many monsters as we can, and we're going to
all
run.
different shapes and sizes.
I trust that as soon as you put down the braziers, I'm going to head towards the tower.
It occurs to the two of you in discussing this.
Oh,
that-
man, dude, this is a mistake.
The monsters that are nearby had been somewhat thinned out by the followers of the Falling Fire, although it's still a dangerous area of the city.
Monty,
But
no.
not far
No,
from
Monty.
here is the crater, which would have much more dangerous monsters.
She was
Is
already
that
thinking of that,
worms
Monty.
or-
Yeah,
If we
is there a well known?
Why are you giving them solutions like this? They had already come up with something. Stay out of it.
Wait. Can we
Big
ride?
monster.
Can we ride crater worms? You know, get some hooks, stand atop the crater worms,
Oh,
ride
man,
them
Kelly,
into
dude,
our
Don't you
enemies.
still have Dominate Monster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a new goal in D&D,
Okay,
and I just want to say it out loud.
Kelly, this is an out of character. I don't care. I don't allow it. We're serious about the hobby here. Your thing about being the Lisan Al Gaib. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying it's for me. It's almost a bridge too far. But I mean, your group, your tone. I guess you're going for more of that. But for heaven's sakes, you do not have to come out and say my new goal in D&D is I want to say
I
out
want to ride
loud.
a crater worm into my enemies.
Yes.
Just throwing that out
That's
there.
what's happening.
Okay.
Prestige.
This is
Yeah,
what's
that's
happening.
right.
So, step one, we won't get ahead of ourselves. Step 1, Veo.
Yep.
I want you to try the best you can to see if you can locate the items we need.
Yep.
Same for Truvio's helmet, the reliquary,
She knows the items, man. She knows the items.
and potentially the bones of Azeroth. But they're
They're in the cathedral, like elsewhere. The bones.
in this
How do you know that? Was that
cathedral here.
Or
No,
we
they're in
assume
the the big cathedral where we
Mhm.
fought the Lord of the Feast.
Okay.
Drink
Unless
That's-
they
everybody.
move them.
That would be
Okay.
tough.
That'd be unlikely.
Unlikely
Okay.
that they would move
Okay,
the
so
bones.
let's start by
So-
seeing if you can locate them, because all this sort of hinges on. Because if they're not here, I mean, of course, taking the stronghold might be
I
important.
think no matter what, taking the stronghold is valuable.
I feel like you're blinded by.
Wanting to write it.
Yeah, you
No,
have,
okay.
you have a very thematic.
Dismantling our enemy's stronghold is
It's gonna be important.
is a win,
Okay.
and we need to start realizing like Lucretia Matthias is our enemy, and we need to beat her.
And the mercy she showed us will be her downfall.
We're gonna show her.
Never show people.
We've learned that, and she's gonna learn that
Yeah.
real hard.
This is a dark world. This is a dark world.
There's no room for mercy in Drakenheim,
We'll
baby.
show you what happens when you give us mercy.
We ride crater worms
We
into your
give
house.
Not.
So
Alright.
let's start by. Okay, fine then. Just go. We can always search when everyone's dead.
Yeah.
They're a lot easier to search.
Yep.
Okay, let's find some braziers and knock them over. Now, is it
no? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you asking him a question now?
from what Sebastian knows about these spells? Is it enough just to like tip over a brazier to dispel this magic?
How? Oh, I mean, come on. You're asking. This is a problem, Monty. We have to do our part. Every GM out there has to do his part to fix this malaise that's entered into the hobby. And I'll tell you what it is. It's players that are too scared to role play their characters' actions because there might be a failure. So they're asking their game master before they've done anything. He's still playing cards with an ape, okay? Before he's actually tried anything, he's asking you what it'll take to win. This is a terrible, terrible practice. You can do a huge amount of good to the hobby, Monty, if you stop answering hypothetical questions. They've not left the ruined building where they're spying on this, and now they've gone all the way from here's the map that we have to here's the secret protections to here's how you defeat the secret protections. They haven't even left the room they started in. Don't answer hypothetical, hey, what would we have to do to? This is a guy that's asking you what do I need to roll to win? Until we can get rid of that, we're going to have this issue where people are too scared to role play their character. He's scared to role play because he's worried that they're going to try something and it won't work. And then someone is going to be in hot water and, oh, heaven forbid, we lose our plot armor. And on session 105, I got to roll up a new character. Do you see where I'm going with this, Monty? Do you see where I'm going? Players are terrified that they're going to do something that's the wrong thing and get punished by the game master. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Or
No,
are we gonna
no,
need
it's
to-
going to take more than just put and also you've seen braziers like these before. These are not
What?
like
What?
little.
What?
like-
What?
These are not the,
They've never been in the room where these protections are. How do they know they're like the ones that they saw before, Monty? They don't know that. They explicitly don't know that.
things that you just push
Yeah.
over. Like maybe they're a thing that Pluto is strong enough to push over,
But not there.
but not Veo.
What
Now you know the weight of it?
Okay, from my understanding of like casting the spell onto a brazier, what would it take?
Have you ever done that? Has your character ever done that, Kelly? Has your character cast a spell every day for a month on a brazier? No. So what do you know about this? Jack. You know Jack about this.
Because like Veo isn't magical enough to de-magic them, are you?
Do I just have to put out a flame?
And
Do you see what, Monty, do you see why I said that you don't entertain hypotheticals? Because once you start entertaining hypotheticals, that's all the game will be. That's all it's going to be now. They've never laid eyes on this room before. They do not know what it looks like. You've given them all of this information. Now you're going to answer their hypotheticals so that when they go into a room that they've never been in before, they will know exactly what it is to do the thing so they can go to the next scene. Are we having fun yet?
do we know this? That's what. That
Let
was my
me
question.
put it this way. A combination of approaches is probably going to be the way to do it. It's unlikely to be something that could be completed in a single action.
Dude,
But only-
we're going to have
but
to
is
have
it
more
something that
sessions
only
if you're
that-
going
'cause
to keep doing
we
this.
might not be able
'Cause
to
that's
go
not
in.
how you do
you
that.
have polymorph?
I do.
Can you put it in my ring?
Yes.
I could be a giant ape. Do I have to be quiet about this part once I find them?
I mean,
Are they all together? They're probably not all
is
together.
it what puts out the light? Darkness, right?
Could I put the darkness spell in her ring, and would that?
But how many times would I have to use it?
Guys, could I?
Darkness is a second level spell.
It's a second level spell.
But there's
Now we're
probably
talking.
multiple
Now we're
braziers,
talking the
right?
meta of this.
Non-magical light can't illuminate it.
This is not
probably
exciting. I know
magical
you
light.
guys do this as a
Or-
radio show too, or an audio only
Is it?
podcast.
If any of
Do
the
10,000 people
darkness
listen to that
spells
too?
area overlaps an area of bright light or dim light created by a spell of level
Okay, Monty, here's another tip for you. Do not read the manual during the game. Easy.
2 or lower, that other spell is dispelled. Halo is a 5th level spell, and Forbiddance is a 6th level spell. Normally, you can't upcast Darkness, but there's the Brazier and the 2 spells. If you want to use a 5th level spell slot to cast
If
Darkness,
you want to put, that's a hypothetical.
or if you want to, basically, I'll say that in this case, I will allow you to upcast Darkness to function like Dispel Magic.
Dude, I applaud you for just making a ruling. You should have just gone with that, man. You've got 104 of these episodes under your belt. You don't need to reference the book, right? I mean, you guys are experts on 5th edition. That's most of your content. That's all of your content, isn't it? Almost. I mean, right? I mean, you got Alien RPG back there, I suppose, and I see some kind of cyberpunk one. Maybe you've got that. But and I see Pathfinder 2.0 something in the background. But let's face it, you guys make your content off 5th edition. You should all know the rules, right? Don't be reading the book. Not during the game session. It's your game time is too precious. Don't read the book during the game. Read afterwards.
Okay. So
For the purposes of being able to turn off like these lit.
Okay. Again, I can't reiterate. I can't emphasize enough or reiterate enough that these are all hypotheticals. They haven't left the ruined building where they're strategizing. And now you're telling them, you know, if you do this spell, in this one case, it's a special case, I'm going to make a ruling that it's going to work this way. He hasn't tried it yet. Reiterate. Yeah. I'm going to put a TM behind that. K-Dolo, that's right. Phil is right. Play easy D6. What is wrong with you people? Play easy D6. Problem solved. All right. Man, Yeah, like this, there's just no mystery. That's right, Flame. There's no mystery at all. This is edited, Nick. This is my Brazilian brother. This is edited.
Torches, not like a true dispel magic, but like a dispel magic in this world of like shutting off these braziers.
The opposite of the light.
So how
Your
many?
darkness. It's your darkness.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my shadow,
Okay.
and you're gonna use that shadow to infect their light.
So do what I have to do? How many times do I have to use it?
I have 1 5th level spell slot. So
Can I move darkness?
No. You can cast it on yourself, and then
So here's what I'm saying.
Guys, come
in
on.
this case,
Mhm.
the effect of the darkness spell is gone.
Yeah.
And it is completely operating like the spell magic.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just
How many points of
Monty, they could have found that out when they did the thing. They haven't left the room yet. Don't tell them how it's going to work before they try.
emanation can I detect from these? Like, is it a singular point?
what I'm saying is
Yeah.
I'd have to scout.
she'd have to scout it to determine that.
Okay,
So
okay, right answer. You could have just started with that. You didn't have to go through this whole rigmarole. I want your games to be better, man. I do. I know you're gonna think I'm just some angry hater. Okay. I want your guys. You have a huge reach. I want you to show people role playing. When does that happen?
it's really a case of like and her ring of spell storing will only fit 1 5th level slot.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's
let's
the
say,
big
even
one.
if there was like let's say I'm just
Lame.
guessing
So-
like 4.
Yeah,
Sure.
if
You
there
know?
were multiple braziers, we're at a loss then, and this plan doesn't.
Exactly.
Again, from the way that you recall, typically the brazier that is lit in the chapels and cathedrals is the locus point.
Dude,
It
you're
is
giving away the
typically one
farm.
brazier.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We can
Now you know it's just this one that's lit. Well, why would they do that? Come on, your world's supposed to be believable. If the brazier, wouldn't it be more interesting, Monty, to not tell them that, and then they show up and there's 6 braziers, and now there's which one is it? I don't know. Wouldn't that make for some better role play here? Instead of, well, actually, the super secret thing that they do so that they know when one of the let's hypotheticals, right? Because that's all this game is so far. The whole shtick with the brazier thing is that it's an immediate alarm to those that are defending, which I can only take to be the good guys in this game. The defenders of the cathedral know that their wards have been defeated when the brazier goes out. Why wouldn't all the braziers be lit? Just in case someone didn't realize, oh, this month it's brazier second from the left on the west wing. Why would only one telegraphing to everyone, oh, well, this is the brazier that's super important because everyone else is sitting in the dark because they don't have braziers lit? It doesn't make sense to me. I thought it was a cool thing you were doing, but you're robbing yourself of this cool thing that you did. I'm trying to give you credit, man. Okay, you obviously authored all of this. Well, maybe others were involved, but I'm going to give you the credit. So I think you deserve the credit for the idea of the brazier thing, but you're taking all of the cool impact of that away.
Well, we can hope.
So
I
do
mean,
you want to put it in my?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you the power of my shadows to overwhelm their light.
Does my ring turn dark?
Oh yeah,
I will
And it's like
cast the
misty shadows.
this invisibility on you, so you don't have to concentrate on it.
Mhm. Is
Can you
darkness
give me-
concentration?
Sorry.
Yes. Darkness is concentration, right?
It is. It is. But in this
Yeah.
It's just gonna
case,
happen.
It's gonna just expel the light.
yes,
So-
basically don't even bother looking at the darkness spell. It right now, for this purpose only.
Yeah.
Sebastian's darkness spell is functioning exactly like the spell magic.
Okay.
He hasn't done it
I guess
yet,
what I'm
man.
just functionally thinking is like,
If you wanted to cast it for the darkness spell, that's fine. But then you would be using it for darkness and not for the dispel magic purpose.
no, more I'm thinking I have pass without trace that I'm concentrating on. So if I do it, is my pass without trace gone?
No, because dispel
Come
magic.
on.
Because again,
It just,
I'm saying that in this case, I'm going to treat the casting of darkness as all respects as if it is dispel magic, but only for that purpose. So
Only.
like
Yeah.
if you run into some other thing, like someone's polymorphed, it's not gonna work that way.
What? I mean, I understand what you said there. I comprehend what you're doing here. But again, they haven't even left the room that they started in. And you're already saying, well, if you run into someone else, if you do, please stop doing that.
Right.
Yeah, this is just to basically this is dismantle the brazier
Mhm.
spell, and that's its only purpose.
So really, you had this cool thing, this brazier thing, and now it's not really even an issue anymore, right? Like they haven't even left the ruins. They've never even laid eyes on where these things are. They've never even seen them. They don't know how heavy they are. They don't know how big they are, Monty. And you're telling them everything. And now they already have the exact thing they need to just ignore it. What a wasted opportunity.
Do you have any other third level spells you can give me in my
Oh, dude. I hate that, man. You're on thin ice with me, Helmet. You really are. You should stop. I don't like this kind of in-game talk. Like, what about your third level spell? Is that really how you would say that? Is that the D&D world? In the world of Drakkenheim, everyone just calls it my third level spell? Is that what they do? I mean, I guess they do. I don't know. I guess I'm a little out of the 5th edition crowd thing, but I'm just not. Monty, I think there's better ways of handling that. And Helmet, I mean, you're gonna have to pick up your game. You're falling behind a little bit.
my spell story rank that might come in handy.
Third level spells?
Yeah.
Do you want to animate some dead? Counter spell? Hypnotic pattern? Summon a very sad.
Okay, this is
version of
called playing
yourself?
bingo with character sheets. That's
Hypnotic
what this
pattern
is.
could come in handy.
You want a hypnotic pattern?
Give me one.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So we don't have time for a
Okay,
rest.
there's
I'm
a
gonna
hard
take a
cut there.
potion just in case.
Now, Vale, we will be in constant contact with you. We are going to head towards the crater. We're going to find some awful things
Mhm.
and bring them on back.
Okay. Please let me know when you have that awful thing so that way I can make sure. Again, I think if I do the brazier, depending on how much time it takes, there's no way they can put it back up. So it really doesn't matter when you guys come with that. would it?
You may.
What are you
want to
talking
get
for, Monty? No.
information before these two
Okay.
commit.
To that.
We'll
to
start
that.
heading to the crater, but we won't.
Who's playing the game? Like, you have a role to play, right? Max has got a nickname for you. I think it kind of fits. You're Google, okay? They're using you like Google. Monty, don't let them use you like Google. And don't interject to say, well, I heard your plan, but since I need your plan to work, I'm going to tell you the things that you have to do to make your plan work. Why are you doing that? That's not your role.
Stir up a crater worm.
And just bear in mind that if these two are heading to the crater,
We're splitting the party.
it
Party
is
split.
splitting the party, and so it could take you upwards of half an hour to an hour to get back to the monastery.
What if we're riding a crater worm?
That would make it faster.
What if? What have we said about this, Monty? We don't entertain what ifs, could I? We're not entertaining that.
But if Veo is in trouble, like it's still minutes, not rounds, that you're going to have to get back.
I'll scout it.
Let's start with scouting.
And
Just start scouting.
Let's start with leaving the room you started in. Can we do that? Still dying to know how this card game is going with the ape.
And then we'll make a decision from there.
At some point, guys, to get done what we need to get done, we got to roll the dice and
I think we got to trust each other. And if we're going to take down our enemies,
Yeah.
We need to go big.
Do you feel isolated or capable, Veo?
I feel
I
disappointed.
feel capable.
Oh,
I was just thinking, I can't remember the last time I was alone in Drakenheim.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
your character?
But hey, 15 years of it. I got this.
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, what do we know I'm good at? Running away.
Okay, so I know Monty, this is good. Okay, and you know what, Max, you're right. I need to cut some slack to the helmet. He's the only one whose character's actually done something all game so far. Yes, everyone else has just done hypotheticals to the GM. He at least said that he was playing cards with an ape, right? There is that. So he did bring that, and we're still talking about the card game with the ape. We haven't left that. And I agree with Phil here. So Phil, Monty's given some credit to your player here. She's this lady. I'm sorry, I should remember your name. I don't. She's in character. She's talking in character. They've all tried to do that at some point. So the problem is, Monty, if I could, and this might be hard advice, but again, you didn't ask for it, so I'll give it to you. The problem is you keep on jumping in and like you're really dying to be a player and you're not giving the players time to do things. And then when they're just about to do something, you jump back in and say, well, you should realize that if you do that, then don't do that. Don't do that. Just say less. Say less. It's less is more. Give the cat lady a chance. Is she playing what are those called? Tabaxi? Is that what that is? Give the Tabaxi a chance.
The fact is, if it is going to take us like half an hour to get to the crater's edge, then we actually should start
Kelly,
moving.
we got to cut these turns.
I'm already
shorter.
running.
Cool.
Just do it quietly because you don't have me to guide you along the
I'll
way.
guide us back to the crater.
Okay.
Was cat?
So
Cat
I'm
is
gonna
correct
under the invisibility, pass without trace. I'm gonna slink my way to find the brazier
Okay.
and get some information.
Okay, this is
and
kind
I'll
of an
relay it
advanced
back
technique.
as quickly as I can.
We also don't have a neutralizing.
It's kind of an advanced technique here, but eventually we're going to help the players speak in the present. And that's going to help them think of the key components of good role play, right? The key components. Where am I in the world? What am I doing in the present, right? What am I saying? I mean, when they're saying, they can say to each other, yeah, hey, listen, helmet, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. You got that? Great. Yep. We'll sync our watches or telepathically sync our whatever, and then we're off to the races. Done. And then from then on, it's in the present. We're in the present. We stay in the present. Okay. Again, kind of advanced, but I think that, I mean, they've got 104 episodes under their belts. They should be ready for it.
I feel that right now.
You two don't?
No.
Okay.
I had it on my brain.
I can cast Neutralizing Field. What level spell is that?
It's a 5th level
Dude,
spell.
come on,
Oh,
man.
I can't cast Neutralizing Field. I'm out of 5th level spell slots.
Well, you could use a higher level slot to cast it if you wanted to.
I hate, don't do this.
All right. We have a Neutralizing Field.
We also,
Nice.
I guess, do we still have the Expergo or no?
We do.
Yeah.
At least you have that.
No, wait. It's probably been an hour since the...
It would still be in effect.
Okay.
How much time has it been? I have no idea.
okay.
We've been at this how long,
Vea.
guys?
Talk to me. Tell me how you're going to go. How you're going to proceed. Where do you want to go first?
So I want to.
We assume the brazier's in the chapel.
Yeah, I want to check out the chapel first, and I just want to find either whether that's.
Wait.
Can you tell me if the roofs? Sorry, what time of day is it?
Well,
Oh man, that's too much. Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. What time of day is it? Oh, yeah. In all of that description, in all of that exposition, what time of day is it? Oh boy. It's just something. Oh man. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. What time of day is it? Let's see.
It's starting to get nightfall, because remember that she was going to perform the ritual at dusk.
Mm.
So yeah, we're under cover of darkness at this point.
Yay. Okay. So essentially, I want to.
Yeah, the aurora's coming up. So at this time in the night, the mists of the deep haze tend to fade and get replaced by the eerie octarine lights as delirium starts to glow, and the darkness takes hold instead.
This is kind of setting information.
Aren't you like
guys, I
invisible in
think.
darkness?
But I'm invisible, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm invisible. I'm quiet. I mainly just want to find a spot on the building where I can shimmy up and get to the roof over to the chapel.
There
Okay,
you
but
go.
that's not technically. Kat hasn't done that. She said what she wants to do. That's not what we're looking for, right? We're looking for what she does now, not what she wants to do. She could say, I want a big ball of string. It doesn't matter what she wants to do. What does she do? And again, like the chat is saying, Monty, they like your descriptions. Okay. And that one was better because it was short description like that, impactful. I could picture it sort of. It was good, right? But don't let her couch her turn, like Phil is saying, right? She's couching it. That's exactly what she's doing. She's couching the turn because she doesn't want to risk doing the wrong thing. So she's just going to say what I want to do.
A lot of places where you can go on the roof. So again, looking at that map, you just need to tell me what part of the map you want to go up first.
I think I'll focus on like the southwest
Okay, so she's physically moving to the southwest, right? Right?
corner, like near the chapel, and
Okay.
then I want to get onto the chapel
On the rooftop of the chapel.
Yeah.
Okay.
because I assume there's like windows and stuff that.
Okay, well, we've
Alrighty.
got
What
someone
is
in
the
motion.
lowest you can roll?
I guess I would prefer something else here, Monty. I would say, like, again, she should start her turn if she's moving with what she does. She gets up out of the ruined building, and I stealthily walk towards the corner of the. And then you might say, Monty, at that point, great, roll a stealth check. Or maybe she's so super stealthy because she's a cat and she's a black cat, and black cat at night in the mist and what have you. She's she's actually invisible. So she just does the thing, right? But she still should say that she's left where she was for the first half of this game session, and she's now moving towards this other part, right? Let's see how it goes.
Roll on stealth.
Oh,
Right
so
now?
roll in stealth, sure, whatever. She's actually done
38.
Okay.
I have a plus 18. I can't roll lower than a 10, and I have a plus 10 from.
Then why did you ask her
Okay.
to roll, man?
So you effortlessly make your way up onto the roof.
Shadow in the night.
Just a minimum
Yeah.
38.
I might as well be a gaseous cloud.
No, you're talking.
Yeah.
You're
Pretty much.
cartwheeling.
You're talking.
Yeah.
And no one can hear you.
Okay.
I'm singing my own theme song, and they don't even.
And you do have a climb speed as well.
Yes,
so
I
you
do.
silently clamber your way up onto the rooftop.
Okay, well,
of-
she said that. You don't have to say that, right? So you just say success.
the west cloister. Okay. What you can see is that as it is night, many of the followers of the Falling Fire are actually starting to go to bed for the evening.
What, do you see them tucking themselves in? Are they kneeling at their bedside saying their evening prayers? How do they sleep outside? How do you know that? Does she have X-ray vision on top of everything else?
Okay. So
Wait. It's starting to get dark? And now they're all going to bed? What, they don't stay up? It's past their bedtime? What is this? When is nightfall? What are the guards doing during all this? Like, what are they? I mean, she's going to stealth past them, but is there a change of the guards? I'm just curious because you did mention guards and they were paladins, and you'd think that former paladins or something that you intimated that they were maybe higher level. They no chance. And I just because I like to play stealthy characters when I'm playing fantasy, Monty. So I know this comes up a lot, right? The sky high stealth check, but I personally don't like even high level play where you're out in the open and you have the, what is it, Pathfinder, hide in plain sight. I personally don't like that. Like, no, you're there. I can see you because you're there. I don't care what your stealth check is. You're there in the open. We can see you, right? Anyway, that's just personal preference. That's not actually advice.
Looking through this as you climb up one of the roofs, like you look inside.
No,
one
she's
of
on the roof.
The cells.
No, she didn't do that.
And again, I'm using the word cell because technically I believe that's what a monastery cell. Like it's not a prison cell, but it might as well be in terms of the way that it's.
It's a prison cell with an unlocked door.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
most of the rooms have straw bunks, and in some cases there
most of the rooms.
4
talking
to
about?
8 people sleeping in what it basically amounts to like a 10-foot by 10-foot room. All of them are sanctified by the falling fire. You feel the ward kind of do, like, you feel it in its effect as you enter into the area. Obviously, it doesn't affect you, but you definitely feel the presence of it, similar to the way that you were in Lumen.
Okay.
So
she didn't
as you
do any
see-
of that.
so
She climbed the wall to the
this
roof.
is sort of like what this represents is one side of the square of each of the cloisters here, right?
Wait a
so you
second.
can kind of imagine that this is duplicated.
Monty, commit to theater of the mind, or just say this is the thing, because you have it all on your expensive plastic on your table. Nothing against it. I got expensive plastic too. You got a fancy thing right there in front of them. Why are we pretending that they can't? They saw all this from their ruined building where they were staked out for the first half. Why is it suddenly commit to theater of the mind? Just do it. I mean, you got good descriptions. You can tighten them up a bit, but you got good descriptions. But then you show us the table because you had other camera angle, top-notch production. I got to give it to you. Like we are lowbrow production, my buddies and I. Low. But I just don't like, you gave all of this information. She wasn't doing that, dude. She just climbed the outside of the building because she has climb speed and she's a cat, and she went right up to the top. And then you started talking about bedtime for the monastery. And I mean, there's ways you could do that, I suppose. It could be a bell or something, or people are in their night clothes in the center. I don't know, but
3 more times around to complete what each what
why
each
too much
cloister
prep
would look
is
like.
a bad thing.
And so you've sort of clambered up, and one of the other things that I'll just say for a sense of scale is that like these rooms are 20 feet by 20 feet, but in reality there would actually be twice as many rooms, and they'd be half the size of this as well.
Okay.
Right.
Commit to the theater of the mind.
It's a big place.
With Dwarven Forge, it's really hard to build a 10-foot by 10-foot room.
Yes, so don't use it.
So, like 20 foot by 20 foot is kind of
Save
like
your
the
money.
smallest you can build.
D&D in general, I feel, uses a large room scale that is unreasonable. But what can you do?
Stay in character,
So
Kelly.
you clamber up onto the rooftop. The chapel is not that large. It is significantly smaller than the Chapel of St. Grecia, but
we've gone
you
through
can
this.
see within from here, like
you can see from within.
The gardens
does it not have a roof
in the middle of the cloister? They have several large but dead trees growing up from them. There's great fountains and sort of a path, a grass.
I thought you gave them a map. You can cut all this out.
Walkway that leads through, and there's a few followers of the Falling Fire that they're carrying torches and they're walking the cloister in a patrol. And there's a few others about, and you can see that there is illumination from within the abbess's towers, and there's illumination from within the chapel.
How do they know where the abbot sleeps? Like, how did they know that? Did they get that information? Was that all that first investigate check that she did while she was in a ruined room casing the place? She could see? Like, is there a big arrow pointing to where the abbess is? Or abbot, or whatever you said? It certainly wasn't abs. I think there's YouTube's struggling a little bit with the auto closed captions. I'm just asking this, Monty, because I think we're seeing a trend here. You're giving too much away is the trend. And I still want to know what the result of the card game was
Itself. In fact, there's all chapels of the Falling Fire, usually the center of the dome is a chimney that allows smoke to escape. Right? Usually there are several chimneys because often the chapels have so much flame happening inside them.
This is all world building. This is world building. They can read this if they buy the book, right? Okay. It's not germane to this. It's just background information. It's not needed.
Now the chapel is sort of glowing in the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could use potentially one of those chimneys.
So I could use. Nope. Not answering that. Okay, Kat, you have to try. You got 9 lives. Let's roll the dice.
Holes to like look in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to approach one of those.
Okay.
I'm going to approach those, or I approach those. Now, I happen to think that one is demonstrably better than the other. Some argue that it's close enough. We're arguing semantics, but to me, action is I go. Thinking about action in the future is I'm going to go.
So you head up to the climbing onto the dome, and the central chimney of the dome. There's a plume of smoke rising up through it. So
yeah, that's right, Flame. It's that's down the hierarchy of things to fix. But
it makes it a little bit challenging here because you're basically looking into a smoking chimney.
Oh, okay. Are there? You said there's multiple chimneys though potentially.
There are.
Okay. Yeah, Max brings up a good point. During this time, the other characters, what are they doing? Okay, it's okay to split the party, Monty. All that advice about splitting parties, I think you've got probably a bunch of videos on splitting the party and how to handle it. The way to handle it is everyone still gets a turn, maybe 2 turns, maybe 3 at the most, and then you're on to the next person. And you have to be flexible enough. It's not easy. I admit it's not easy. You have to be able to flip between the 2 or 3 or however many divisions the party has created. But one thing that I would strongly recommend is that you don't ignore the other 2 players. And I fear that things get even worse than that.
The central chimney is the only one that would be large enough for you to fit through. Right? The other ones are more smaller exhausts than anything else.
Okay. I guess thinking about even the chimney, like how, I guess I wouldn't know. Okay, I guess I want to go maybe potentially like off the roof down the side to see if there's a window.
Can you be any more equivocating in your turn than that? I just want to rewind for a second. Listen to this. This is Monty, this is what I was telling you about earlier. This is indicative of a player who's scared about losing the game.
Oh, okay. I guess I want to go maybe potentially like off the roof down the side to see if there's a window that I can.
I'm going to maybe potentially off the side of the window. That's so. I don't want to. Please, Mr. Game Master, have you abused these players? I don't think you have, Monty. I'm just saying. I don't think you have. Okay. I think these are your friends, and I think you have a great time. and I want you to have better games. And I think that you can encourage better games by just letting players act their character out. Just say the action. Don't have to say, well, I'm going to maybe potentially look over. She doesn't want to fall off the edge. And she says, oh, maybe he's going to take control of that cat and throw the cat right off the roof. See if it lands on its feet. That is a terrified player right there. Kind of maybe, please, potentially, I might. I worry because this cat, you can play in character. We've seen you do it. You've got some bad habits because I think you've been taught bad habits about asking hypotheticals and win conditions and such. But you can role play. You can role play that as your cat, carefully approaching the side. I slowly, silently move to the edge of the building and peek over, looking for windows. And then all you have to say is 5 feet below, a window, a small balcony. And you don't have to say, well, the small balcony is in the style of all of the monasteries for the followers of the fallen flame. And they like this, and there's a little bit of ivy on this other one, and the narrow slits for this, and it's kind of dirty, and it looks like there was a bird strike, or you can do this a lot faster. You can have a lot more things happen in your games. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, Monty, that you can get more out of your game sessions. Yeah, given your history and knowledge of the building ledges in Lubin. Yeah, no, you don't just let the cat thief thing go to the edge. She's terrified that she's on the roof, and she shouldn't be. She's a cat. She loves being on the roof. Is she actually role-playing as a cat, or is she just a woman that's wearing fuzzy ears?
Like peek over.
There are windows. They're all stained glass windows.
Okay.
I wish I could,
roll me a
Max.
D6.
2.
Okay. One of the stained glass windows is slightly cracked.
Mm-hmm.
You suspect that if you were careful, you might be able to
No.
gently.
If you were careful, you suspect you could. Don't. No. Just give the description. Let her decide as that character how she's going to act in that moment. Nothing wrong with saying your description. One of the windows slightly cracked. Beautiful stained glass. See, this is why your players are asking you so many hypotheticals, sir. Is because you're giving them that. If you did this, you could do this, but then you're going to have to do this role. It's just not how we do it. I shouldn't say that. That's how most people do it. And I'm telling you now, that's not ideal. It's far less than ideal. Let's keep going.
We push one of the panes of glass out to get a view in with a successful sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
If you could do this, okay. And she's going to say, well, he suggested it, so it's safe to do it.
Okay. I guess I can't roll lower than a 22.
Okay.
High level play, folks.
26.
Okay. You very gently push one of the panes of glass out.
See, the reason she did
I guess
this.
I can't roll lower than a.
The reason she did this.
Yeah, I could try that.
I could try that. I guess I could try that. Who's playing the character here?
Okay.
Monty.
I guess I can't roll lower than a 22.
Okay.
26.
Okay. You very gently push one of the panes of glass out and peek through into the chapel.
Okay, what do I see?
Okay.
Meanwhile,
so as you look into the chapel, roll me a d6.
Why
4.
does she have to roll a d6?
All right. Looking through the window, you see that the small chapel of Saint Selena has, much like all chapels, you can see that there is the doorway leading down to the crypts below, and it is a very small and modest chapel overall, mostly meant for the private worship of just a few very devout members of the Sacred Flame. Nevertheless, it is well appointed and decorated with an intricate floor mosaic and several reliquaries and other
Monty, I don't understand why the roll here. You went into your long description. We've got to get these descriptions down, right? We just have to. It's too much. It's too much. You've got a good eye for detail. There's methods you can use. You can do the top to bottom method. You can do the lighting method. You can do there's other things you can do to just quickly go through this. You want to focus on the key thing of the room, a small chapel for the very devout, excuse me.
Decorations with the stained glass, showing the devotion to Saint Tarna and the stories of many of the saints and devoted individuals that lived in Drakenheim.
This is too much.
There is a central brazier around which the followers of the Falling Fire have collected and very neatly placed what appear to be
Monty, you're killing me here, man.
trinkets, personal effects, and very carefully prepared bits of bone. And as you step into the room, you can see that there are...
Wait. Step into the room? What? I thought there was a small loose panel of the stained glass. Is the panel that she pushes out, which shatters, of course, because she pushed it out? Or did she pull it and then she could fit through it? How did she get into the room? Did she move herself in the room? There was a hard cut there, so maybe she moved herself into the room? Man, I hope that's what happened here, because otherwise you just teleported her into the room. What if she didn't want to go into the room? She doesn't need to go in the room, right? She can, all she has to do is shut off the brazier and then the thing is done and away we go, right? Off to the races. I thought she was scouting out. Did she have to go into the room to scout it out? You're going to tell her everything that's in the room. She doesn't have to go into it. You told everyone in the ruined room before they left the first room they started in everything about the whole place. I think you're right, Phil. I think she'd be so terrified. Maybe if her whiskers could fit in the pain, then she knows she can get her whole body in.
First, standing guard in this room are 4 sanctified knights.
And she's in the room, right? What are the knights doing now?
That are at the 4 corners of this room. And there is another woman in this chamber who looks like she might have once been a flamekeeper until...
How do you know that? She used to once be a flamekeeper? How does she know that by just looking at her? Can't you just give a brief description? I don't know. Like, guys, do you see where I'm going with this? There's just way too much information. She's got a card. She has a floating card. She's got a floating text box above her head saying ex flamekeeper level 7 multi-class level 2 cleric of the fallen flame. Do you know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she's got the looks like she might have once been. I just don't like this. How does she know that? Too much, way too much. Her red name. Oh, dude. This is why it's so much better if you could keep your descriptions shorter, Monty, and then what's the character's name? Veo. The cat can help. She can help like flesh it out as she interacts with the world. If you're doing all the interaction for her, then of course it's all going to have to come from you.
Well, she took the sacrament.
Mhm.
And also entering into the room with her are two other
Wait a sec.
acolytes, and they have with them. They come in to the room, and the knights nod, and the acolytes produce as you watch. The
Exactly, man.
acolytes
Exactly.
begin to incant a prayer in front of the braziers, as the flamekeeper kneels before the flame and unwraps a piece of cloth, and the others bring up several boxes. And what you can see is that in what she's brought out are several sanctified delirium shards, and the others
That's a
have
setting
brought
thing,
out
I think,
the
guys.
remains, the ashes and bone fragments of those individuals, and they are performing the funerary rites for these people. And so, as one by one, the acolytes take up the bone fragments and ashes, and
Yeah, I'm with you, Cato. I'm listening to this and I'm like, I really want the players to lose. The more I listen to this, I'm like, so they're the bad guys, and they're interrupting a funeral as they have these bone fragments of their fallen, and I'm like, man, I'm getting flashbacks to like the two soldiers saying, "Are we the baddies?" I'm like, yeah, these are the baddies. I think they're. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's more complex than that, and it's all gray, and well, we'll see.
they gently place the bone fragments around the brazier, scatter the ashes
Around the
into
bra.
the brazier
Yeah, there you
itself, and the
See, hold on,
flamekeeper,
Monty. You had this the whole time. So like all of the details, right? The details are there. It's just there. You have the miniatures. Yeah, this is the problem. The way you were describing it, I'm picturing it different. But in my mind, because I'm biased towards my own imagination, I like my imagination more. And I have enough description. I'm more than enough description, Monty, for me to interact with the scene. There's more than enough there. But in my mind, it looks way different than this, and way more ritualistic, or reverent. And then I look at this and I'm like, oh, I don't know. It wasn't really what I was thinking, but anyway.
the golden shards and speaks the name of the individual contained within, and then places it back down again, and then places it back down again. As she finishes,
How long does this take?
She continues the rite. Is there anything that you want to do, or do you want to continue watching?
Okay.
I'm gonna continue.
All right. So here's another tip. If you train your players to be proactive, I mean, poor Helmet, he's still thinking about the card game with the ape. He's go fish. You can just let the players do things, and you react to the players as they do things. They're proactive. They're doing things.
Watching. Yeah, I want to try to see if there's some sort of like how long it takes, like what's the timing. I know these guys are going to be a while
She's terrified.
getting to the crater.
She's
so I'm just
terrified.
trying to find like what's the opening for me to find my way.
I don't know what my move is. Give
just,
me
like,
my move.
time-wise, I guess.
Monty, she's asking you for
Okay.
her move.
Stealth is not quick.
And neither are we. So you have
Okay.
a little bit of time. I
She's
think, before
asking
we
the game master
make
to
any
run her
progress.
player.
I guess-
character.
Yeah, how's it going, Vito?
What I'm also thinking about
No,
is
you're
like
done.
ways
You had your
that
chance.
I'm going to get to the brazier to actually do what I need to do. So I'm kind of thinking through, okay, is it something that I'm going to drop down? Do I need to get in?
Okay, but this is all her asking the game master, asking you, Monty, to give the. I need to know what's behind door number A, place number C. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here when she says, I think I'm just considering all the things that I could do to get my mission done. That's not good, Monty. We got work to do here. We have work to do. We have some work.
And
We
climb
got our work
down.
cut
So
out
I'm just
for
kind
us.
of thinking through what my
She's trying to make it
is,
safe. Exactly, Nick.
as they're going through
My
while
Brazilian
just
brother.
watching what the guards are doing around as well as the right. So I'm really just trying to take in as much as I can about like, what are the walls made of? What are they doing? Like, what's the process here?
That's
do
a
they
scared.
switch
That's a
guards?
scared
Like,
player.
things like
That's
that.
a scared
Okay.
player, folks. Scared.
Right now,
Now he's going to give her the out.
any changing of the guard
Oh yeah.
has probably already happened.
Okay.
So in terms of patrols, you can see that they're patrolling around. So do you want to divert your attention away from watching what's happening here to look at other things?
Well,
or
I don't know.
Where do you want to keep your focus?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
As she finishes, the right, the paladins kneel, and everyone in attendance kneels. And the flame flickers again for a moment as you
option
hear
A.
heavy steps coming up the stairs from the crypt below. And the door opens with a flare of light as
There's a cut there.
tall, angelic woman.
Monty, you don't have to do.
steps
You don't
out
have to do
from
cuts.
the crypts below.
Oh, dude.
And the Flamekeeper bows and says, Archangel Zariel, we entrust the fallen to you. And the angelic woman,
I totally want the Angels to win. I'm going to be straight up with you, Monty.
awash in power and majesty, like even you've seen the other angels and the planetars that Lucretia Matthias summoned previously, and the other archangel that did what you were in the presence of an archangel.
I mean, so she turns to ash, like roll up a new character.
And the angel takes the delirium shard, the sanctified delirium shards,
And doesn't notice
gently,
there's a
as if
cat
caressing infants, takes
trespassing
the
in this sacred
down
place.
to the crypt below.
Hey guys, I got good news and bad news.
What? Why didn't the spell
Bad news.
doohickey things warn the
There's an
angel that you're there? And now she's
angel
using
here.
telepathy to tell
Bigger and
everybody.
badder than the last ones. They're very,
I'm pretty sure if
Right.
that thing looks at me, I die.
yeah. Yep.
It's holy.
I definitely
aura
want the
just
Angels to
melts
win.
you.
Good news, at least for you, Sebastian. They're taking the sanctified delirium downstairs, so I bet you there's a bunch of snacks for you downstairs.
Cool.
Just think.
I will raid the kitchen
Yeah. Yeah.
once.
Kitchen
once
crypt.
As I
the
would.
kitchen crypt.
The
In
souls
fact,
of the fallen.
as the Flamekeeper speaks to Zariel, the angel says,
Yeah, see, that's my thing too. I'm not a fifth. I have fifth edition. I have played it for a while. I don't know, not that long, but it's a fifth level spell. This is some archangel. Like when I hear archangel, I think like something really powerful. That's in my lexicon, an archangel, the archangel. Like this is the leader of the armies of this divine being. A fifth level spell cast by a cat is going to prevent the archangel from seeing. Like, don't they have true sight or something? Like, can't that defeat this? I don't. To me, it's like, why is she getting a front row seat to this? She's in the room. She's in the room. I mean, again, it's your system, and hey, maybe that's how your world works. But for me, it's like, well, if this is supposed to be a big threat, then she's immediately smashed right out of the room. Her presence is just not, she can't even abide the presence of this creature. She does a swan dive out the window. Involuntary. just me. Like if you want to demonstrate the power of something other than saying, well, you've seen others and this one's really powerful. What? Huh? How? Oh yeah. He turns the sneaky cat into ash. That's how. Anyway.
12 more. How many?
Yeah.
will
Yeah, Rune. Exactly. I would cliffhanger that right there. He reaches out his hand and then clenches his fist, and 6 of your ribs break, and the cat is held a foot off the floor. Like, and then that's it. We'll see you next week. And by the way, you're going to need a new character. So that's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm too mean.
rest below? And
No, you can't, because
kind
she
of put together.
couched every.
This is where the followers
Can
of
you
the
kill the
falling
player
fire
that's never
keep
made
all
it?
the sanctified delirium.
Bill is so
All
funny.
of it.
All of it.
This is where they keep.
How did they know? Like,
Falling.
okay, we skipped
is
something, Monty. I
their-
can't skip this. I can't skip it.
Hoard, I guess.
Why did you give them this?
Will rest below. And you can kind of put together. This is where the followers of the falling fire
How did she put this together? How did she put this together?
keep all the sanctified delirium.
This is where all of the MacGuffins are. All of them are here. How does she get that? Because you wanted her to know that, didn't you? This is why too much prep. Bad thing, Monty. We're not going to do as much prep anymore. Might hurt the production, the different camera angles, but it's worth it. It seems like you're doing too much prep because you have to, like, okay, this, and this. Now she's going to communicate telepathically, because that's the thing now, that with the other two, so she can tell them everything that she's just learned. Okay.
All of it.
All of it.
This is where they keep their fallen. This is their hoard, I guess, of where they think, I don't know, the world ends, that this is what's happening. This is the place. Ground zero.
So this is Operation Mayhem 2.0. We're going to steal all of their gold delirium. We're going to dismantle this stronghold. And just a quick question, Veo.
No.
Does the archangel look an appropriate size to still be eaten by a crater worm?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Maybe, but if anyone could take on a crater worm, it's probably an archangel.
What about a crater worm and 3 of the greatest heroes in the world?
You're not heroes.
Maybe, but yes.
All right,
I get a confidence in ourselves. Yes.
we'll do our best.
She is.
Always carry peanuts, folks.
But Veo, if you can just take care of the archangel before we get there, that's
if you
great.
Just deal with that.
All right, over and out.
The
I mean, you can still talk to me.
Just like goodbye.
Mhm. With that, the archangel departs and returns down to the crypts below.
Okay, so just so you guys know, she.
Hey, Monty,
However,
do your-
roll me a 1d6.
Why?
4.
Okay. Although you are masked by illusions, doesn't seem like the archangel noticed your presence.
Oh, come on.
Because if anyone could.
Yeah. Okay.
Any sign of the helmet or the reliquary?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
I know where the brazier is. I know how I can get in. Should I look for the helmet or the reliquary?
How much
Why-
progress have we made?
Oh,
I'm gonna.
yeah. See, Monty, this is the problem. They haven't had a turn for how long? So they have no idea their side of the big deal, of the big plan. They have no clue. They have no clue.
To focus on Veo for now.
Okay.
Well,
I don't-
What? No. Monty, it has been far too long between those two players. 2/3 of your group haven't had a turn.
yeah, Veo, I'll put it on you. Keep if you want to keep looking. If you think there's other
Dude,
Could there be
should I
other
speed this up a
sources
little bit?
of
Maybe I should speed it up just a little
magic
bit.
emanation?
What do you think?
Or it's likely this?
I think it's here. I think. And do I know how long it will take me to put out this brazier? Like using this, is it instant
no.
that it would put it out?
No, that's
It's going to take you more than one round to
Monty. One takeaway here: no more answering hypotheticals. She's terrified. You just have to encourage her. Just do it. It's just a brazier. Like, that's it. The whole shtick here is that it's disguised. It's just a common item, isn't it?
to dismantle this. Likely what you will need to do is scanning it
Dude.
over. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, you're just going to give her turn. You're just giving her turn. And you're gating it behind an investigation check to give her turn.
22.
Okay. You will need to do a
Because rolling dice is fun. You hear me now? Rolling dice is fun. Now we're having fun.
combination of some kind of physical interference.
Mhm.
So physically dousing the fire or knocking it over in some way,
Mhm.
then sealing it with the spell. So you will need 2 rounds to do it.
I hate doing
Physically,
that,
how
man.
big is the brazier?
Oh, so
It
now
is
you're
almost 5 feet wide, and it is made of granite and filled with like charcoal and delirium and
Would
ashes.
you say it's the size of a small campfire?
No,
Okay.
no, it is not. A cantrip is not going to do the job.
Maybe you could find
No,
like,
like
Why are you talking,
these,
Helmet?
These braziers
not your turn.
are like these
You're
are
not
like
getting a turn this game.
massive bonfires.
could it be
Yeah.
doused and put out
Why
by
are you
a
asking, man?
Very,
You're not there.
very helpful magic
See,
carpet.
okay. We can't be too hard on Helmet. We like Helmet and his ape and the card game thing that he came up with. But why is he saying anything here? Why? Because he hasn't had a turn in too long. And this is part of the reason why I think, well, I mean, there may be more to it, but you're going to have players have turns that are too long if they don't get turns frequently enough.
Could you smother it
Could
with
I?
Yes,
a magic carpet?
yes, that would destroy the carpet, but it would also douse the flame.
Perfect.
It
We
would?
get 2
It would? How
birds.
do we know that? How many times have I had my magic carpet going on my magic carpet ride, and it's and we're gonna just put out the 5 foot wide granite brazier with the doohickey and the big, and it's way bigger than the campfire, and we know that magic carpets do this. They smother it. It's no problem. You would know that. You would just know that. So thank goodness you asked the game master to get clearance before you did your thing. I hope I'm getting through to you, Monty. This is the problem, right? You're encouraging this.
Just 1 stone.
We can't kill, what's his name?
Casper.
Casper.
You didn't even know his name.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen him very much. I wrapped myself in him earlier.
Look,
but-
he's a tool, like a butcher.
Okay,
Why
that's
are you
rude.
talking?
Or
We didn't help him overcome his fear of flying. Just
With
to
that
burn
rite
him.
complete, the Flamekeeper and her acolytes depart the chamber, leaving the knights as the only guardians in this room.
think
I guess 2 other questions that I have is there any source of water around?
Yes, in the center of each of the cloister gardens, there are fountains and wells. And
She's not
along
there,
the
though.
sides, actually, one of the cool features of the Abbey of St. Selena's that you've actually heard before because you are a native to Drakenheim is that the water fountains along the cloister
Yeah, I'm
actually
kidding,
produce
Witten.
carbonated
Try
water.
role playing for once.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. This is Monty. I think that we may be getting close to the real issue here. And the real issue is you are too in love with the world you've created. Why would you have to insert this trivia of the fountains in the cloister produce carbonated water? It's sparkling water. So you can get your Pellegrino here. Like, what? That has nothing to do, like, and you're doing this so that obviously Kat thinks that's a cool feature, but she never interacts with it. She never has interacted with it. Why is it? Oh, because you're native to here, you would have heard. This is trivia that is meaningless. It's all part of your world building. You spent a lot of time on this. I appreciate that it was a lot of work to get it all down, but it's not important for the game until it's important for the game, and it's not there. You just want to insert it in case they never come back here. And by the way, do you remember that they had carbonated water?
oh,
Yeah. But there are actually also there are wells in the center of each cloister,
Also,
which the followers of the Falling Fire actually are using the water because they don't mind that it's contaminated.
can I ask you a question, Theo? Do you have anything that can? Because we don't necessarily need to put it out with like water. What if you put it out with like a bunch of like dirt or sand or something else that could
You're not
smother
there,
the
dude.
flame? Like, do you have any way of what other kind of cool hidden magic items do you have?
What?
I have a bedroll.
What?
A magic bedroll?
No, just a bedroll. Like I do have shape water, but I know it might not take me one go potentially.
She's asking
So,
them to give
but other
her
than
her
that,
next
it's,
move.
What do you have?
Helen,
Anything
shut up.
that can?
Mold earth, but again, a cantrip's not going to do it.
Aren't these
No,
guys
I'm not
busy?
there.
These guys are supposed to be busy collecting
What if we had
monsters
to
right
meet
now.
up with Veo?
Now they're
Would you are still in position.
He's
Yeah.
going to
Roll me
have to
another
give
D6.
her move.
5.
Okay.
Here's the D6.
Is there anything else you'd like to investigate around instead?
Yeah, I think for now,
There's
while
the
I
hint.
think through how I want to approach
Was that a hint, Monty? You can be honest with me.
brazier, I do want to go
It's a hint.
How
Right.
long does the invisibility last?
an hour.
1 hour?
Okay, roll me
think-
2d10.
Right? Regular invisibility is 1 hour until you break
Yeah.
it.
2 and 3.
Okay, so far it's only been 5 minutes.
Oh
Okay.
my word! Really?
Because the only other
All
thing
of
I'm
that?
thinking is
5
like maybe I can
minutes?
look into some windows of say the other tower and just see if there's any.
Actually, I'm going to add 10 minutes to that.
Yeah,
just
I
from
would
the
say
beginning.
that's a good
Okay.
So
call.
we're at
It's got to
15
be.
minutes.
It's got to be more
Okay.
than 5 minutes.
Yeah, just to like as I'm thinking this through, I just want to do some more investigating because I also want to see, okay, like once I do the brazier, how can I move to where I need to move to
Yeah.
potentially look
Yeah.
for
It's a
the easiest
funeral
way to
rite.
find the reliquary and the helmet.
They're getting
Okay.
a funeral right.
So
That
I'm gonna
can't
do a
be
bit of
5
slinking around
minutes.
on the roof.
Okay. Slinking around on the roof. Again, the map that I sent you shows you basically
Yeah,
all
they
the
did.
entrances and exits, right?
Mhm.
So like at each of those path points, those are the points that lead into the main buildings, and then there's the individual cells. So there's the common
I'm sorry,
hall.
Monty. I've got
Opposite
to
the
do
common
it.
hall is the scriptorium. There's the abbess's tower and the chapel. So you've investigated the chapel, and you've seen both. You've basically seen everything that there is to see in the east cloister so far,
Okay.
right? All the rest of the buildings that are here, like as you scan around, you're like, okay, those are probably bedrooms. That might be a kitchen.
What? Why are you doing this?
And so far you haven't investigated the abbess's tower, the common hall, or the scriptorium.
Yeah, I want to go to the abbess's tower.
Okay.
A, B, or
So
C?
the abbess's tower
Why did you have to do that? A, B, or C?
is a 60-foot tall tower with 4 floors. And so the topmost does have large open windows that are illuminated that you could possibly, again, with your climb speed, you could probably climb up the tower itself.
You could probably climb up the tower. Here's a move you could do. Okay, you just pat her on the head. Here's a move you could do. This one's okay. You know, A, B, or C. And then with this one, you could do this if you wanted.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Well, he said it's safe to do, right? Safe to do. He said it. I can do that.
At least do like, again, I assume there's like a window. Like, are there windows on the outside?
So as you get up, there are windows here.
I think I could.
Um,
I'm hoping to fix Monty.
But they definitely appear, but they are closed, and there are curtains drawn across them from the inside.
Okay.
Because they're curtains, and curtains are on the inside.
Ooh, I'm wondering if I should risk.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kat. You've taken no risk so far. There has been no risk here. Everything you did so far has been cleared hypothetically with him before you did it. There's been no risk. I'm not convinced any of these players have risked anything yet.
Do I see a lot of, in terms of the entrance and the steps below? Do I see any guards going in and
Oh,
out?
yes. There. In fact, at the base of the tower, the entrance leading in, there are 2 more paladins.
Okay. Guys, there's a lot of guards around the tower. I assume there's something there. Maybe Lucrece's spot or her bedroom. Where I think I just need to try to go for this brazier, and I'll worry about looking at the rest later.
We're about halfway to the crater right now. I'm assuming because it's been 15 minutes. So yeah, it's up to you, but it still might take us another 20 minutes or so to get back there.
Vale, you can give me a perception check.
Monty, I really, really recommend that you split the time more equitably between your players. Okay? This is way too long with one player. She needs a break. She needs time to think.
25.
Okay. Nearly imperceptibly, the windows of this tower, you notice etched in faint celestial runes are several glyphs, which once you see them, you can see the thrumming energy in them.
Monty, are you doing the brazier thing again? Do you have a cool trap that you're going to just give away before she interacts with it?
Give me an Arcana check. I know that you're not probably proficient in it, but
Monty, you just want to tell her the cool thing, but that's what would be even better than that. Even better than just telling her the cool thing is to let her experience it by when she interacts with the window.
5.
okay.
See, there is magic.
It's enough that you could tell Sebastian what you're seeing.
Hey, good night, Phil.
Maybe give
Thanks
him
for
the
coming
opportunity
by.
to make a check.
Love you, buddy.
They're
God
glyphs in
bless.
these windows, very faint.
Can you describe what they look like?
That one's really curly. That one goes up and down. That one's side to side.
Curly, up and down, side to side.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's arcane runes. Yeah, definitely.
Roll the Arcana check, Sebastian.
26.
These are almost certainly glyphs of warding.
What? Curly? On a description of Curly, he gets that on his...
Which what they would do, and Sebastian, what you can surmise is if you touch these glyphs or
Yeah, that's
touch
exactly
the
what he
windows,
did, Nick. That's exactly what he did.
they would activate, and
That's
whatever
right, brother.
spell has
That's
been
what he
put
did.
inside the glyphs will be cast upon you.
Oh, no.
And it's cast as if the caster cast it on you.
It's
They don't touch those windows.
Okay.
That's a glyph of warding. The curly and the up and down and the side to side. Definitely a glyph of warding.
So they could be explosive. They could cast some sort of spell on you. It's without further magic on site. It's you won't be able to determine what exactly the effect
why was
of
it
the
even
glyph would
there,
be.
dude?
But it could be bad.
I think we might need me there to get us past those glyphs.
In fact,
Is she just going
one
to go
of
back to
them-
the brazier? Why didn't she just
Sebastian,
do
you
that?
think what it might be is
This is high level
just
play.
a
Yeah.
glyph of warding,
Well,
but the more powerful version, which is the
in
symbol
a sense,
spell.
it is.
And the symbol spell can kill outright.
Yeah.
Here's
In fact,
See,
if it's a symbol
again-
of death, it would do upwards of 10 damage for triggering one of them.
Why are you giving them all this information? Why? He said no. It was the scene ends when Kelly's character, I don't know what his name is, when Kelly's character says, "Don't touch anything. You're gonna have to wait till we get there." Okay, all right. Next person's turn. Next person's turn. Okay, we rotate through our players.
Can I ask a question? I don't know a lot about magic.
That's not a question. That's a fact.
So, based on that, I'm sure Lucretia Matthias wouldn't want some poor follower who's like, "Ah, it's stuffy in here," and they like open a window and they explode. So, are there fail safes or tools that the followers like? How does the window know not to blow up a follower?
I'm sure it's good.
So, Sebastian knows that when the spell is created, it is possible to set conditions for creatures that don't trigger the glyph. Thus, it could be that the glyphs do not trigger for those who are sanctified, or potentially for those who say a certain password.
How would they know that?
But
Let them interact
that-
with the world.
that's tricky.
Okay, so
So it is. So they're both symbol and glyph of warding. Sebastian can relay this that it's possible to actually make it that that a follower of the falling fire wouldn't trigger it.
a condition could be sanctification.
Yes, that's
So
what's going on.
Maybe
Jerry.
stealing a piece
Sean.
of golden delirium. Because how does the warding know if it's a person with a delirium in their chest or if it's that soul?
I mean, it's magic.
And that also feels risky because if it's not sanctified and it is a password, I don't want Veo to just like blow us.
Well, I'll tell you,
But
I'm
could
laughing,
Veo-
but
I'm just saying, like,
honestly,
Veo potentially
your
maybe listened
description,
by, like,
which is,
an entrance or exit.
well,
point.
how would they know? And your answer at the end was, it's magic. This shows we've wasted way too much time on this already. He doesn't know. He's the beat stick fighter. What's he even talking about this for?
Maybe someone has to say a password. Maybe you can learn the password because you're so stealthy.
Okay.
I don't know. And maybe if I'm wrong, but like it's something that we can maybe gain some information on.
Maybe I'll listen
Okay.
by the entrance for.
Monty, these two guys over here, where are they? These two guys, can you see my cursor? Yeah, kind of. These two guys are busy hoofing it over to some crater to get a bunch of big monsters to come leading them. When they're doing all of this, what are their characters actually doing? Have they stopped? Aren't there dangerous monsters all around that are gathering around them? Shouldn't they be role-playing that?
5 or 10 minutes. As I'm again kind of thinking through like how I want to take out this brazier.
Well, you're
She's
outside the
still
window
asking
on
for
the
what
fourth
the
floor,
what
right?
is the
Yeah.
move?
Casing around, roll me a d6.
Oh boy.
4.
There is enough of a gap in
Monty,
some of the curtains that you can peer into the room.
Monty, I feel like that roll me a d6 is just smoke and mirrors. I mean, I'm a GM too, right? Between you and me, peering behind the GM screen here or laptop or whatever, the d6, it doesn't really matter what she rolls, right? Not really.
Just a bit. The illuminated room has a writing desk and a very simple bed. Given the amount of writing material that is in this room and what you know of Lucretia Matthias, this is almost certainly her personal chamber. It is plain, aside from all of the writing material. Clearly, Lucretia Matthias doesn't stop writing, and there are stacks and stacks of books and texts on theology and other spiritual matters.
Wait. How would she know what the books were on? It's just a bookcase. It's just a bookcase.
However, is on the desk is a helmet.
Ooh.
Oh, there's the MacGuffin. Okay.
Um,
All right. Things gonna happen now?
Okay, so I do see the helmet.
Oh, wow.
I also have another idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll work. Sebastian, maybe give some tips and tricks. You're the one that taught me this. My mage hand. Could I I can use that to
Just try
detract.
it.
I don't
Just
know if that
try
works on
it.
medical threats.
Could
Don't
you
ask him if you
summon
could
them?
do
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna again help me out with my arcane knowledge here,
Mhm.
but could she summon the mage hand
Now he's
inside
just
the room
asking if she
and
could
maybe
do it.
unlock the window and open it from the inside? And would the spell then either? So part of me is wondering if from the inside it doesn't trigger, or also would it then affect would it trigger on the mage hand instead of on Dale?
Give me an Arcana check.
Because I will say, like, my mage hand is, I can be used to
Hypothetical
disarm
after
traps, but it's not a
hypothetical.
typical trap,
Could I
it's
do
a magic
this?
Yeah.
trap,
Could
so-
I
But I'm wondering
that.
if even opening the window might. So I got a 21.
It's very likely that opening the window will trigger these glyphs, no matter how they're opened.
But would
He's
it
not
trigger
even
on
there.
Dale or on the mage hand?
It depends on what the effect is.
Yeah.
It's possible that whatever spell is, if it's an explosion, it would
Monty,
blow up.
you have
right?
my
Yeah.
permission
Although,
Which I can do
as
everything.
your unofficial and
given the, the
unsolicited
writing
coach
material, it seems unlikely that Lucretia Mathias would have
to
an
tell the
explosion
next
happen.
person that
But it could
asks a
even be something like an
hypothetical
alarm
question to
or
pound
something that
sand.
could turn you into something unpleasant.
Yeah.
I'm part of me is thinking that the windows are just out of the question, but I am wondering. Okay, we know where the helmet is.
There's a single doorway that leads into the room that you can see. There's a stairwell that connects the 4 floors and then leads in.
And are these the only windows that have the glyphs? Like, if
How
I
do
would
you
go
know?
down,
How do you know where the stairwell connects all the rooms? She's peeking in through a crack in the drapes of a window. That gives her the floor plan.
third floor windows? Like, is this the only protected level?
This level is the only one that has
You
large
would-
windows. The other ones have
How would you know that? You're outside. You're asking from peeking into the window, which are the protected rooms in this building? You can't even open the window because you're terrified that you open the window and it's going to melt your hands or something, or take one of your 9 lives. Maybe you're down to 7 lives. That's why we're so cautious. And they're not even in the same place. No, Sean, they're not. Kat is in the monastery that they're trying to ransack or steal from. And then the other 2 are away trying to gather. They've never actually had a turn that we've seen, but their stated intention was to go and get some monsters, lead them back like Pied Pipers. And no, that's not true. Kelly really wants, his goal in life right now is to ride a worm like he's Paul Atreides right through the monastery. Okay. But they've got this super telepathy going this whole time, which I said at the onset, Monty, not a fan. Don't like this at all. It's messing everything up. This 3-way conference call telepathy that they have forever is allowing them to pretend that they're all in the same place, even though they're not in the same place. That's what's going on. Monty, when I describe it like that, do you see why I'm suggesting to you it's not great? I would take it out.
have more, the same style windows as the floors before,
Slits.
the more slits.
Yeah.
They're a bit wider and you might be able to go through them, but they do not have the wards.
So it's only on her floor.
So maybe go into the floor below and see if you can work your way up.
Why did you give
how-
him that?
I mean, I've seen cats liquid through some situations before. Can you squeeze through the windows?
I'm sure I could, but what if I get to the door and it has the same things? I think this is where we need to come afterwards, but it's good to know that that's there. I think that's something that at least, like, if we can get through, I'm not going to be able to go through the window per se, unless we're getting out of there real quick. But I think it's worth noting that that's where we're going to go.
Yeah.
What I would like to do, though, is as that thought, I want to go around.
Take it back.
and
That's not what I'm
essentially
going to
get
do.
a blueprint of like what do I see through all the windows, just to understand what's maybe on each floor, and go maybe down the back rather than the entrance side.
The floor immediately below Lucretia Mathias appears to be a very small meeting room, perhaps where Lucretia Mathias could take her supper. There is a fireplace in the chimney that goes across it, and perhaps a few other of her close associates and other flame keepers could meet here.
They could, sure.
And
Is this the right move? Are you
otherwise
giving her the
things are-
right
things are
move?
quite austere. The lower floor, the base floor, obviously you'd have to go down to the ground level. It doesn't have any windows, but the floor above is kind of where it connects to the rest of the rooftops.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like lowest level,
Okay.
ground level, Second level connects to the rooftops of the rest
Brilliant
of the monastery.
people in
Third
chat.
level, meeting room. Fourth level,
They
is
were
Lucretia
given a
Matthias'
picture
room.
of this place.
And so what you can probably guess is that the other rooms might be one of the other rooms looks like it is an expansion of the library, like and
How
the
would
ground level looks like whatever purpose it once had. It is now a guard room for anyone coming
And
down
the
from
guards
above.
notice your breath on
certainly,
the window at
from
night.
all that you can guess, like putting this all together,
This is rough.
it occurs to you that Lucretia Matthias has probably considered the possibility that somebody as capable as the Queen of Thieves might try to take her life.
Mm.
And given the level of defenses that are here, you're like, this would be bad for even Cat.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
wait, Cat.
She's prepared to.
Does Cat get to roleplay that, Monty? Right? You've given her information. There's no way I can see that she would know that. Okay. And then you decide how she reacts to the information that you gifted her. You reacted for that. Why would you do that? You're role-playing her character now.
Deal with high level magic users.
like looking at all this through, like the only advantage that probably Cat has over you is that Cat probably has the tools to deal with magical traps because of her.
Oh, she's not
spellcasting
Cat? Oh,
capabilities.
never mind. Whatever. I call her Cat.
But even then, like, you know, like Lucretia Matthias these are the defenses of someone who is particularly worried about an assassin of your caliber being sent to kill them.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I know how I
Really?
want to do the brazier.
Okay.
I think.
She's going
I'm
to
gonna give it a go
confirm
at
it, though.
So I'm going to head back to the opening at the.
Walk me through what you want to do, because then I might shift over to these gents.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I
Maybe?
crawl inside through the smoke,
Mhm.
and go down invisibly as close as I can to the brazier. I don't want to start by doing maybe a thunder step to do some damage to it,
Mhm.
and then teleport back out, not out, but like up. So that way, again, there's no confusion of like I'm standing right in the middle
Sure.
of the thunder
See,
step.
she's asking
I don't know
for
if that's gonna put out the
permission.
fire, but I want to do some damage to the brazier
So
if
she-
possible.
Certainly, just dealing damage to it could do a lot.
Okay.
It's always an option to just deal
It
damage to
could
it.
do a lot.
It's gonna
Don't
be
give her
pretty resistant
any
to piercing
information.
damage.
She
Yeah.
hasn't
Thunder.
done anything yet.
Thunder damage, on the other hand, well, considering that there's a lot of delirium around here, and the delirium is generally damaged by thunder damage, that actually could be pretty effective.
It could
So if I
be.
sneak down, get there, and thunder step gets me out of
Could
there
Vale
too.
make a bomb out of like delirium that she
I know.
gathered?
It's all about the
Kinda
brazier.
like-
I know.
Wrap a
I think
bunch
I'm
of
making that into the bomb.
like
I think
you
I'm
could
full.
add to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
See,
you know, like,
they're
what if you
using
got-
the
if you have-
this
do you
is
have
the
any
problem.
delirium in your possession that
Monty,
you want
you need to
because
hear this. This is the problem with your telepathy workaround thing, is that they're using it as if they all have perfect information about the surroundings of one another. In this case, just the cat lady. Okay. I don't think that's what it's intended to be, because then you have the situation where, well, you have what's going on here, right? And you absolutely need to pay closer attention to your turn order, right? Put them into some semblance of turn order. We've gone an hour and 15 minutes into this thing. Yeah, we skipped a little bit at the beginning, which was just background stuff. But for a good hour, she has had the spotlight. We got 15 minutes left. How many turns are those other two players going to get in this last 15 minutes?
if you intentionally blew up some delirium crystals in the process, that could be bad.
I think if let me just look.
Good for us.
Would be bad.
Bad for
Hypothetical.
braziers.
I have some written down. I just don't know if we sold them at some point.
I don't think we've sold delirium in a while.
It says
so
I have
if
6 fragments and 4 crystals on my list.
Okay. So every crystal that you want to put down, I will give. I'll amp up the damage, and we can roll some arcane anomalies.
Just put it all.
Monty, really? Really? This isn't a turn then. This is a negotiation between you and your players. It shouldn't be negotiation like this. She says, oh, I've got some shards. I'm going to use one of these shards. It's explosive. she tries it. She doesn't get a chance to preview what this could do. Unless she's done it in the past and she already knows exactly what it is. And then again, she's not going to be asking these questions. Well, what if I did this? And then he has this negotiation then, or she has a negotiation with you, and you say to her, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this. She hasn't done anything yet. How would she's now going to make a decision, supposedly in character, though I'd argue that, and she's going to use that information that you just gave to her. How would she do like that? It just doesn't, to me, this breaks the world. She finally said, I got an idea. Guys, I'm going to do this. I don't understand why she has to tell them all this. She's supposed to be the master assassin, isn't she? She just does master assassin stuff. And I'm like, great, she's going to do this thing. She's thought it through, maybe. She's going to do this thing, thunder step, whatever, break the brazier. Brazier finally goes down. We've won the game. Instead, it becomes this negotiation. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this, and then in this time, and then the darkness spell we'll use with just this once only, and only in this case, I'm going to use the darkness this, and then she gets approval. Yes, Kay, she gets approval. Yeah, a very scaredy. Yes, my brother. Very scaredy master assassin. Yeah. But I think this has been taught. I think this is, hey, you should ask me and we have a negotiation. And not ideal, guys.
Yeah.
Pull it in the bag, wrap it all up, make your little.
We're getting rid of it anyways, I guess. So
Okay.
I wrap a little.
That's right.
I'll do 4. What? Crystals are bigger than fragments.
Crystals
so
are the big one.
I'm gonna do 4 crystals, guys.
And throw your fragments in too.
Okay.
Fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
6 fragments. 4
Helmet,
crystals.
don't play her character.
All right.
Shut
so
up.
that is Veo's plan.
Veo, I love it.
So you're going to teleport up, blow up the brazier with a bunch of delirium, and then
Why are you saying
cast
this?
darkness
We all
on
got
it,
it.
and that's
Man.
going to be your move.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I guess
Monty, she already said what her turn was. It took us this long for her to go from thinking about her turn to doing her turn. Let her play her turn. No need for you to restate her turn.
when I'm looking at Dispel Magic, it's 120 feet.
Mhm.
So I can go on the roof and then cast it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Not that the roof may be there. After. We'll see.
Okay.
How tall? Actually, how far up is it?
No
It's
more
only
questions
60
from you,
feet tall.
please.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
oh yes.
yeah. Actually, it's not even that because the Abbess's Tower is 60 feet tall and it's the tallest building here.
Maybe
You're
from
right.
the edge of the whatever's left of the building.
No take backs.
Thunderstep is
You
90.
said it. We're
That you
going
can
with it.
teleport as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're well within your range there. Okay.
Okay.
Monty, this was not ideal. Okay, let's see if you got a bunch of stuff that happens in the next 16 minutes. Let's see.
Let's move on to these two.
I'm excited hearing your. I've got a hop in my step and a song in my heart.
This is Operation Mayhem 2.0. So
I'm getting pumped.
It's
on
going to
the way
get
to the
messy.
crater. I'm. Yeah, this is good. You're the
Okay,
most-
well, I'm watching, gentlemen.
You two head towards the crater. What are you gonna do?
looking for anything big and gross.
My goal is to make it to the crater, and then I want a worm.
This is the
You want a worm?
negotiation
I want a worm.
part.
Okay, tell me how you're gonna go get some worms.
Okay,
Okay.
no, I've
Even
been,
Okay, he's had an hour to think of this.
I've been thinking about this the whole
Do you have
time.
an idea? I have an
Stick to
idea.
the
I want to
ground.
hear your idea.
Will you allow me to use mold earth on the ground in the crater?
Okay, Monty, this is where entertaining hypotheticals get you. It gets you a player that's now going to try to negotiate out his big super move, right? He's going to do his Nova move here, and he wants to negotiate it beforehand. Not try it, not do the thing. No, he's going to negotiate the thing. That's what's going on here. Is that a role-playing game? Are we still in the realm of role-playing game?
Crater to go. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna stomp beside it. We're just trying to create tremors in the ground.
Okay, this
You gotta.
okay, gentlemen, this borders on what we call kind of 1980s pop culture reference. Okay. It borders on that. But you know what? I think I have to. I don't want to give you a pass on this, Monty. I really don't. But I'm going to have to give you a pass on this because I don't know. They've obviously had some interaction with these crater worm things in the past, and maybe this is a known technique. I mean, your laughter suggests to me like it's not, but all right, let's see what happens.
Anything that's more than a cantrip.
You really want me to eat up these spell slots, aren't you? Not that affects. I mean, that's my earth cantrip.
Do you need something big to make noise?
We need noise.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kat. You
Again,
have
I
to be
use
quiet
cantrips
now.
for noise.
Yeah, but what makes noise?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go find. You know when you see like in the ruins, I want to look for something that's precarious, like a big tower of something that's sort of like damaged at the bottom, and I want to push something big over
Okay.
or a rock.
Here's the challenge. The crater basin is ground zero.
Yeah.
Buildings of that size were annihilated.
Okay.
Okay. But in terms of big things that make a lot of noise when they blow up,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We
okay.
shoot a big
Monty,
chunk of delirium.
that is again, you're giving them the solution. You're giving them the turn. Here's the next thing.
I shoot a magic missile at a shard of delirium, or like a giant. Like I find.
Okay. He started the sentence with if. So what do we answer him? Yes, that's right. Pound sand. I don't answer that.
Like a big, and we stand back. We stand. Hold on.
I put my helmet.
120 feet back.
Okay, excuse me, Kelly. With all of your magical doohickeys and everything, did you bring a rangefinder with you? This drives me nuts. I'm going to stand 109 feet away so that I'm not caught in this. Do you have that kind of training that you can just eyeball 100 feet away? Again, Monty, you may be okay with that, but myself, are you measuring this? Are you going to walk it? You have laser rangefinder eyes. Come on. Tape measure? You got one of those like tape measures that's on a wheel so you can just walk and it tells you.
Back.
119 feet.
119
Oh,
feet.
119 feet. Oh, excuse me,
going to
gentlemen.
shoot a
Excuse me,
magic
119 feet.
What else is in your staff? Do you have anything cool in your staff?
I mean, I could like go big, and
I say we go big.
What scrolls do you
We're trying to make a noise, baby.
Don't forget your scrolls.
I could blast it with a lightning bolt.
Oh yeah.
But again, like I've used a lot of spell slots. That will put me down to only 5 charges left on my staff.
Take your turn,
What else do we need?
sir.
okay.
The upcoming like 18 battles that we have to get through before we leave.
Here in the crater basin,
Come back.
the two of you can descend down into the crater basin.
You could.
come back at-
Okay.
There are
Oh, we
massive
can?
clusters. Of
Here's the
down
move
here.
then.
If you guys want to blow up one of these shards to attract a crater worm, okay? You gotta tell me how you're gonna do 50 points of damage to one of these massive clusters in a single round.
This is a
If you hit it
negotiation
with a
now.
lightning bolt, I'm gonna throw my javelin of lightning at the same time, activating it.
Okay, I will do lightning bolt and the javelin of lightning.
Okay.
And we strike like just from a little bit beside each other.
Yeah.
We hit the same giant
Yeah.
shard of delirium.
Okay.
I will use that.
You blow. All right.
So I do 46 plus a couple of points of damage, and you're doing what?
Just roll the
88.
damage, man.
Okay. Both of you can roll me a d6.
Oh, and here's the D6 thing.
Come on, Crater Worm.
4.
Monty, you and I, we kind of
And just to be
wink,
clear,
wink on
like
the
Crater Worm is like
D6
top tier,
thing,
but
right?
I want some scavengers too.
Okay.
I want to bring all the heat.
All right. The shard of delirium ignites.
Yeah. My range is 120 feet too.
Both of you can roll me a d100 because we now have the d100
Okay,
version
okay.
of the arcane
Okay.
anomalies
Oh,
table.
Did you
Yeah.
catch that? Did you catch that? I'm sure my chat caught this. My range on my thing is 120 feet too. So thank goodness we're both standing at 119 feet away from the target. Is this good role playing? Is that what that is? I have opinions.
So 86, not 88. A D100.
I got. I'll wait for you to roll, and then I'll just in case you roll the same.
Yeah, 12.
I got 34.
Okay.
This is going in
34 and 12.
It's perfect. Nothing bad will happen.
Okay. Sebastian, prismatic burst of energy erupts in a 20-foot radius, exploding outward.
Okay, it's a random.
So I'm
table
going to say
thing,
that
I think, here.
this does hit you both.
Okay.
And I need you both to give me.
Thank goodness. Good call, Monty. When players try to get cute like that, where they're like, "Oh, I'm 119 feet away," then they're not role playing anymore. They're being silly. The world has to be believable. In other words,
Constitution saving throws.
It's a big chunk of delirium.
We should have stood back 123 feet.
I got an
helmet.
18.
I
You
got a
get what I'm
14.
talking
You
about.
both
Thank you very
succeed.
much, sir.
You got a 14?
Yeah.
Oh, you failed. So you take 28 radiant damage.
Ow!
Sebastian, you take 14, which gets doubled to 28. And
This is one of those places, Monty, where I would really like your creativity to come through with a brief description. Try to translate the 28. Like, to me, it's completely meaningless. Oh, you take 28 radiant damage. I have no idea what their hit points are. I'm assuming they're in the 200s. This is 5th edition. So to me, it's just not a meaningful thing, right? I'd rather have some description here. And here's a thought for you, Monty. You could have your players give that description. You really could. You could say, "Oh, it's a failure. You're taking 28 damage," and then they describe what that looks like. It should look like something, right? It's an effect in the world. It has a physical manifestation. Just thought. Food for thought.
Pluto, you're blinded for 1 round.
Do I have advantage on saving
And
throws?
Pluto, I need
When
a
I
con
still
save
have
for
the
Veo's
hit
invisibility.
Yeah, I think that's still.
Oh,
You don't have to
yeah.
ask me. It's still in.
What's up?
Well, do her temporary hit points from the commander seal go away after a certain amount of
why are
time?
we asking
After
rules
a long
questions?
rest, yeah.
It's a game.
See?
We never.
What did you get for con?
Play the
I got a
game.
16, so I
You're
can
Check
like
the
it.
rules
Okay, so-
after.
I still take half damage though, even if
Yeah.
I do succeed. So
Yeah.
no matter what, I'm taking that.
Just
Okay.
eat it. Just eat the radiant.
Okay.
And Sebastian,
Yeah.
the other objects and shards and rocks around the geode as it explodes, they all come to life for the next hour as it's affected by animate objects. And they all start mumbling awful truths like you'll never amount to anything with your life. And the mistakes that you have haunt you for the rest of existence.
Come along, intrusive thoughts.
Come
Come on.
But the cacophony of the explosion and the intrusive thoughts, both of you can roll me 2d6.
Double sixes.
Okay.
A 5 and a 6.
All right.
That's 3 sixes between 4 dice.
Okay, that might be a good or a bad thing.
Come on, 2 crater worms. Twin dominate monster.
No, I'm going to.
Do you have enough?
2 crater worms.
Yeah!
From
Mama and a baby.
See, Monty, I think that my groups are much different than your groups. Our goal is not to see which of the plastic things that we can put on the table. It's to have something at the end of the game session where we can look back and all of us can say, "I felt like I was there." Right? Are they going to remember that? Are they going to remember? What are they going to remember from? What's the takeaway from this? It's not which toy I was able to bring out. It's embodying that character in a fictional world that feels real for just this brief moment of time.
From the ruins. Yeah, this is. I remember when I first got this one. It was like,
No one
"That's
cares
such a
when
cool
you got
mini,"
your
and
toys,
then
Monty.
the new one
we don't
comes
care
out,
about your
and
toys.
it's like, yeah, okay, yeah. So
We don't care about your toys.
it's
We have crater worms at home.
don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Boston John, good to see you, brother.
You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be D&D with some stupid innuendo, right? Not in character, not something that would be funny, right? No, nothing like that. Just a stupid innuendo.
As soon as don't attack, I yell, "Don't attack!"
I'm so tempted.
As they emerge. All right.
I have no doubt written.
I'm
I
gonna
have
get
no
one shot
doubt.
at this.
This is all like look, you heard Lucretia Matthias. Her belief is what's doing it for her. We got to believe so much harder than her. And I believe in Veo. And
Dude.
I believe.
Okay. Some some horrific, monstrous worms have erupted from the ground at your feet. And you're bloviating about what? Why isn't everyone running around screaming like death incarnate is here? You have a moment to seize control of these worms, but right now, it's just death, right? That's the whole thing. I don't understand this. This is one of the I will submit to you, Monty, that the problem here is that your players aren't really in character, and they don't really feel like their lives are in peril. If they're in character, they should feel that there's a real risk here. But I think because you've relied so much on hypotheticals, you've taken the risk out of the equation.
In the people of Drakenheim, and I believe in Wrath probably being okay, but most importantly, from the very beginning, I believed in you.
No time for that.
With that power, the first thing that happens is next to the crater worm as it emerges, a portal opens and you hear a dog barking.
Oh.
To try to to draw their attention to what is that, which gives them disadvantage. Well, gives
one,
the big guy, disadvantage on its saving throw.
Okay. Because you invite negotiations, Monty, you're going to have this kind of, hey, I'm going to do this little thing because then I get my little thing here. I think it takes away from the experience.
And then I'm going to twin. This is all of the remaining. This is all of my sorcery points are gone.
Okay.
This is so worth it.
And I twin dominate monster.
Helmet, you have been sold a bill of goods. You think this is worth it? You have done two things. You've done two things this entire game. We don't know how long the actual game was. This has been edited. We know there's some cuts. You played cards with an ape. We know that. You mentioned that. And you threw a lightning javelin. And now it's all worth it? You have been shortchanged. You could have had so much more meaningful interaction if you had turns. Monty, you have to give your players more turns. This is just as an aside to my lovely chat, those of you that are still up, it's late, it's getting late. This is why I'm doing this. I mean, we're almost 3 hours in. We're gonna muscle through and get it. I want some people out there to see this and hear my attempts to provide unsolicited advice to one of the biggest channels on role-playing games on YouTube, to try to show that this is neither role-playing nor actual fun. You're deluding yourselves. You could have such a better experience. To clap your hands now because two pieces of plastic were put on the table, and now then this other player is going to do this big thing, and he's going to kind of game it a little bit so he can get the disadvantage, so he can do this, and he's going to twin the spell, and he's going to get both worms. You've done two things this whole game, and one of them was an offhand comment about you're playing cards with an ape. Where's the ape, by the way? Whatever happened to the ape? I feel like there's just so much being left on the table.
On the two crater worms. One of them is disadvantage. It's a DC 22 wisdom saving throw.
Okay. You needed the disadvantage.
Did they both fail? So then Pluto and I start running alongside these crater worms. My intrusive thoughts shambling along beside us.
Yeah, the animated intrusive thought rocks are following you.
And
you shouldn't have been able to do this.
You've wasted your life.
Yeah, I hand Pluto a rope, and I forgot to mention this, but while we were on our way, I have cobbler's tools. So on either end of my rope, I attach
Okay. This is a problem, right? Oh, and I have the thing I just need right now. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't mention it, but I do have these cobbler's tools. Yeah. Is that part of the negotiations? Are you changing the deal on us here, Kelly?
Like a chisel or something. And so
Cobbler's tools.
I
Those
don't-
are for shoes.
yeah, and I'm using my shoehorns as hooks.
Yeah. See, Kay, thank you for this comment. In game a few weeks ago, I had actual tears talking to my niece about her dead OD'd mother, my sister, while hiding my involvement in killing her father. They will never have such an experience. And that was an in-game thing. And that is what I want to propagate. Real role play that results in real memorable experiences and characters that feel like they actually existed in that fictional world. That's what I want. I want that kind of connection. You're not going to get that kind of connection when you're negotiating, you're using hypotheticals, you don't actually have much risk in the game because everything is pre-cleared with the game master. Good on you. Because that's what I want. I want more serious games than this, than what we're watching here. Monty, I want you to want more serious games too. And I think that you want, like, based on your descriptions, I think you're looking for aren't you looking for a more serious game?
Shoehorn hooks on my rope.
Shoelace reins, so the two of you can each ride on one of the worms.
Yeah, and we hop up on, and we stand on the worms, and we start riding them back towards.
As fast as we can, straight towards the compound.
Get ready. Get ready. Theo,
I don't know what we're doing. But,
Theo, as soon as you hear "Get ready, Theo," in the distance you hear a rumbling.
yeah.
On the roof, like,
Yeah, there's tremors starting.
And on that is rolling today.
Oh no! I love it. I can't believe it worked.
That use a lot of resources,
worth
but
it.
it's so worth it.
So good.
Well,
Oh, and Reaper's running along with us too.
Yeah.
And my ape.
And you're-
My ape is running in front of me.
oh, so the ape is there. Where's the ape now? The ape is now teleported in front of him on top of the worm.
imagine you take like a cowboy hat out and you're like,
Oh,
Monty, do you want a clown shoes game? Is that what you're going with? You've got 104 episodes.
yeah, no, the goggles are fully on, and he's just, no,
The
let's
air
go.
flying.
Yeah,
You know what? I hope that this has been. Is there any more? Is there any more? Or are they just talking about what happened, and then they think they're okay? I think we're good. Monty, you don't know me from Adam. It's okay. You didn't ask for this. That's okay too. I'm spending this time because I think that there's some things you could change in your game that would make a demonstrably, objectively better game for your players, for yourself, sir. No more hypothetical turns. No more. If it starts with if or could I, that don't even acknowledge that they said anything. Just none of it. Make sure that every player understands the components of their turn. It starts with where they are. It then concludes with what they attempt to do in the present. And finally, there's nothing wrong with splitting the party. However, you must be able to give players roughly equal time, or they just become spectators, or even worse, what we saw here, they want to play the character that's actually getting the spotlight. You had some interesting ideas here. The brazier idea was interesting. I liked it. I like some of your descriptions. I think they're a little lengthy. You can shorten them up. But notwithstanding, you had good ideas, and you're obviously a creative mind, and you spend a lot of time and effort building out these things to sell them as a product. It feels like you're a little too in love with it, too married to what you've already committed to the paragraph of the description. Shorten them up. And for heaven's sakes, stop giving everything away. You give everything away. Before they even left the first room, you already had told them the contents of the entire place. Essentially, you're giving them the history of the place. You're telling them about their big traps and their wards and all of these things. They haven't interacted with any of this. They had one investigate roll, but they didn't role play any of that. There was no role play on the investigate. They just rolled the dice and they never left. You've got your work cut out for you, sir. You're going to continue to play these. I wish you all the best, but I would say that there's some things you could change. There's definitely some things you can change that would be to the betterment of your enjoyment in the hobby. This is why we spend so much time talking about role play, because when we see games like this, and most of the games are like this, we just don't see a lot of evidence that their role play is happening as we define it, and we're not afraid to define it. I would encourage you to take a look at our channels, look at some of our advice video, take a look at some of our games, see how much happens. And there's not this negotiation back and forth between the player and the game master. Why? Because we trust one another. It's a high trust model. I want to thank all of you that have been watching this. I know this went long, over 3 hours. That's a lot. I think that we'll see how I'll listen to my subscribers, of course. I'm going to listen to my friends. Most of you in the chat are my friends. And I'll listen to see what you think if this is going to be an effective format going forward. But I just think it's so important for us to get the message out to our fellow hobbyists, our fellow enjoyers of role-playing games, that there is a better role-play model. And those huge channels, 10,000 people watched that session. What is it up now? It's probably more than that. Let me check. There's how many now have watched this? 11,000 views as of 4 weeks ago. 11,000 people watched that. And I just worry that they're getting an example of something that I think is lacking. So this is unsolicited role-playing advice. Thank you very much for being with me. Appreciate all the comments and the engagement on this long show. And maybe I'll try to shorten it up in the future, but I think it's important to reach people that are like me, that knew there was something missing, stumbled across someone that did something like this, did it much better than I did, but he just showed that there's better ways of breaking these bad habits and running better games. That's the goal. Thanks for joining me. God bless everybody, and we'll talk again on the next one. Thank you. Good night.